In a world of universal survival, everyone starts with a battered van. Zombies, alien beasts, mutated plants, aberrants, anomalies, frozen wastelands, scorching heat, dense fog, acid rain. Facing all kinds of dangers and disasters, every survivor can only keep fleeing. 𝓃 survival system had bound an SS-grade, unique survival path. Completing daily survival quests allowed him to pick one reward from 3 options: food, water, skills, weapons, intelligence. How did I end up in a broken van? 𝓃 suddenly opened his eyes. This was not the familiar university dormitory. The air was thick with the pungent smell of gasoline. Forcing down the stinging odor, he surveyed his surroundings. The worn driver's seat was frayed, the windshield covered in dense scratches and layers of grime. Strangely, through the window, 𝓃 saw many nearly identical battered vans outside. Just then a voice sounded in his mind. Welcome to the survival game world. 10 billion people from across the globe have been teleported. Please remember the following survival game guide. 1. Each person starts with a battered van. You can upgrade it by consuming resources through the system. 2. Explore the survival game world to obtain resources including food, water, weapons, and even skills. 3. Each person starts with 1 passenger slot. After surviving each round of the game, the passenger slot count increases by 1. Passengers cannot harm the driver without the driver's consent. 4. After each round of the survival game, you will enter a service area with a 3-day rest period. The newbie gift pack has been sent to your storage space. This round of the survival game is a zombie horde. Survival time 7 days. In half an hour, the zombies will start moving from behind at 30 km/h. Please start your escape. Survive. This isn't a dream. It really is a game world. 𝓃 looked at the light screen floating before his eyes, breathing rapidly. There were 4 icons: personal info, chat, channel, trade house, storage space. He reached out, lightly tapped, and the screen displayed his personal information. Player 𝓃, vehicle, battered van, attributes: strength 7, physique 5, defense 6, agility 7, spirit 9, normal, strong, adult. Storage space 1 cubic meter, survival coins 0. 𝓃 had played many games and understood what each attribute represented. Strength probably refers to attack, physique might be health and resistance, defense corresponds to defense, agility is speed and spirit. Its function: I didn't expect that not even one of my stats reaches the standard. 𝓃 accepted reality. Very few university students insist on daily exercise. But since the attributes were displayed, they could definitely be improved later. He thought to himself, trying to open the chat channel with his mind. To his surprise, it worked. The chat channel only had a regional channel marked with the number of players in the area: 100,100. 𝓃 looked at the rows of battered vans outside. That 100 people. Could they be us players? Lukai, damn, where did I end up? I was reading a survival novel on fan. And now I'm pulled into a survival game. Yongwu, great, I don't have to go to class anymore. Wang Renjia, it's over, I missed work today without notice. This month's perfect attendance bonus is gone. Lu Yunjing, bro, wake up. The whole world has been sent into the survival game. We can never go back. Li Xiaowei, everyone don't panic. No matter what difficulties we face, unity is strength. If we unite, we can definitely get through this. Li Ming, thank the survival game, I don't have to be executed. 𝓃's heart sank. The survival game had randomly distributed humans, including some ruthless characters. Once these people were free from the law, they would become very dangerous. He needed to be extra cautious. He silently observed the regional channel and was surprised to find several classmates. Ding survival system bound successfully. SS grade, unique survival path bound successfully. Unique path, the only one in the entire survival game world. The survival system comes with the skill detection, can detect basic human information and potential. You have awakened the survival path, all attributes 5, unlock survival points, unlock passive skill lucky, greatly improves the quality of items obtained from gathering and killing monsters. The source of survival points, you get 1 per day plus additional points for each high potential passenger, potential score 90. Every day at midnight you can choose one of 3 rewards. For survival points you can directly upgrade vehicles, purchase skills, weapons, food, etc. Survival points 1 binding gift. Survival points can be used to directly upgrade vehicles, purchase skills, weapons, food, etc. A surge of power flowed into 𝓃's body. He felt as if he had endless strength. Opening his personal information, there was now a new entry path, survival path, and 2 newly acquired skills, detection and fire seed. This was his unique golden finger. After awakening the path, his attributes had changed: strength 12, physique 10, defense 11, agility 12, spirit 14. This was his unique golden finger. After awakening the path, his attributes had changed: strength 12, physique 10, defense 11, agility 12, spirit 14. The sudden surge of power made 𝓃 want to find someone to spar with. But considering his current situation, he refrained from acting rashly. Now the most important thing was to find people with a potential score of 90 or above to increase the daily survival point output, which would be used to upgrade the vehicle. He tried to use detection on �13 in the regional channel. Player �13, height 165 centimeters, weight 48 kilograms, potential comprehensive score 80, far below 90. Where can I find someone with such a high score? No, if she is also here, maybe it can work. Su Changqing looked at the group of battered vans outside. �13 was a classmate with decent grades, but unexpectedly only had 80 points. If it were that school beauty and top student, Su Shui, her potential might really reach 90. Su Changqing stared at the regional channel for a long time, but didn't see Su Shui's name. Is she not here, or hasn't she spoken? Su Changqing opened his storage space. Inside was only one 500 milliliters bottle of water and a piece of bread. The newbie gift pack contained only these. It wasn't enough to eat. If he didn't go out to find food, he would go hungry tonight. It was September 2/1145 p.m., only about 4 hours until dark. Wait another half hour, then I must go collect supplies. He focused on the regional chat channel using detection on everyone who spoke regardless of gender. As long as they sent a message, they couldn't escape his scan. Guo Jiejia, potential comprehensive score 72. Zhu Kong 65. Wu Liyun 85. Zhou Xiong 69. Knock knock knock. Su Changqing, absorbed in the regional channel, looked up. A man in a prison uniform outside the window was pounding on the car window. The system prompted that the window durability had decreased by 1. The already low durability now had only about 10 points left. Su Changqing sullenly rolled down the window. The bald prisoner shouted loudly. Everyone gather at the open space in front immediately. Boss Lee has something to say. Don't say I didn't warn you. Boss Lee is a death row inmate. Those who don't come will face the consequences. Then he went to the next battered van, repeating the same words. Just then Su Changqing saw a sentence in the regional channel. Su Shui, I would rather die than let you succeed. Su Shui, I would rather die than let you succeed. Su Changqing immediately used detection on Su Shui. Player Su Shui, height 172 centimeters, weight 45 kilograms, comprehensive potential score 92. Great, the survival system has hope. Su Changqing smiled to himself. He had to make Su Shui, whose potential was as high as 90 points, his passenger. Judging by her messages, she was likely being targeted by that death row inmate. With her looks and figure in this unfamiliar world without law, she was in grave danger. But those death row inmates dare to covet a passenger I've already claimed. They're asking for death. Carefully pushing open the nearly wrecked door, the dilapidated van was empty inside. The only thing of value was the food in his storage space. Many people had already emerged from their vehicles and were gathering ahead. These people came from all walks of life: a salesman in a suit, a college student with a naive face, a sunburnt laborer, and a portly corporate executive. Many were complaining and cursing, calling the system stingy. The newbie gift pack only contained a bottle of water and a loaf of bread, not even enough for a single meal. Su Changqing followed the crowd to the front of the convoy where 3 vans had surrounded another. Open the damn door, bitch, or I'll smash it in. A middle-aged crew-cut man in prison garb, his face full of cruelty, was pounding on the window of the central dilapidated van. Boss, why waste words with her? Let's just tear the whole car apart. Another prison-suited man stepped forward. So this is Su Shui's van. Su Changqing's heart stirred, but he didn't act immediately. His attributes had all increased by 5 points, but he wasn't sure how he compared to a few prisoners. Moreover, there were 5 of these criminals. He decided to wait and see. Inside the dilapidated van, Su Shui's face was deathly pale. The appearance she had once prided herself on had become the root of her disaster. She had already added friends she knew from the regional channel. Seeing that the van door's durability had already dropped by half with only 8 points left, she immediately contacted her classmate. Lu Kai, help. They're about to break my door down. Lu Kai, sorry Su Goddess. They're death row inmates. I'm no match for them. Su Shui quickly replied, don't you like me? If you come to save me, it'll give you a chance to pursue the goddess Su Shui. Lu Kai was tempted, but those criminals looked like tough nuts. Some even had blood on their hands. Lu Kai, Su Goddess, your offer is tempting, but I don't want to die. As a college student obsessed with novels, he knew that in a survival game, one's own life was paramount. Risking it for a woman wasn't worth it. Su Shui's heart turned cold. She immediately contacted other classmates, male or female, but the result was the same. No one was willing to lend a hand, only replying with I can't help or good luck. Those criminals were cunning. After spotting her, they had secretly driven their cars to surround hers before baring their fangs. By the time she realized something was wrong, Su Shui gritted her teeth and sent a message in the regional channel. If you don't save me now, when they come for you later, no one will stand up either. Li Ming glared at the onlookers. Let's see who dares. I might as well tell you I'm a murderer. I was due to be executed soon. Now if anyone comes, I'll kill them. Su Changqing, using his mind, sent Su Shui a private message. I can save you, but you have to become my crew member. Su Shui saw the private message and opened it immediately. Su Changqing. She had some impression of him, a classmate who was 178 centimeters tall. With short messy hair, he was quite handsome, liked anime, spoke little, and was a bit of a homebody. She had once heard the counselor mention that his parents had died in a car accident a few years ago, which might have made him somewhat withdrawn. Su Shui hesitated. Becoming a crew member meant losing her autonomy. Can I not become a passenger? No, Su Changqing replied completely unhurried as he watched the inmates kicking the door. I have all the time in the world. Take your time to think. No, I agree to be your passenger. Come save me, the durability is almost gone. Su Shui panicked as a red alert echoed in her ears. Door durability, remaining 3 points. Su Changqing sent a friend request to Su Shui, which she accepted instantly. He then sent her an invitation. Car owner Su Changqing invites you to become his passenger. Do you accept? Note, once you become a passenger, you cannot harm the car owner without their consent, and you can never become a car owner again. Warning, door durability, remaining 1 point. Accept. Su Shui gritted her teeth. What else could she do? If those death row inmates caught her, the consequences would be unthinkable. You have become Su Changqing's passenger. You have permanently lost your car owner status. Your dilapidated van has been unbound. With a loud bang, the door of the dilapidated van finally fulfilled its life's mission, falling to the ground as scrap metal. Boss, the door's broken. The 5 inmates were overjoyed. Li Ming cursed at the terrified Su Shui. Damn it, you made me work so hard. Girl, you're finished. He reached out to drag Su Shui out of the car. Stop. How dare you touch my crew member? A loud shout startled Li Ming. He laughed angrily. So some fool had come looking for trouble as soon as they arrived. If he didn't kill someone today, his name wasn't Li. Which blind eye? Su Changqing, who was only a dozen meters away, had already walked up to Li Ming during the exchange. He delivered a devastating kick to the groin of the turning Li Ming. The onlookers gasped, hearing the sound of something breaking. Li Ming clutched his lower body, unable to even scream in pain, and collapsed straight to the ground. Su Changqing's full-force kick had nearly killed him. You dare hurt the boss. You're dead. The remaining 4 inmates snapped out of it and charged at Su Changqing. Let me test my strength on you today. Su Changqing was unafraid. He ducked to avoid a thrown punch and struck at the other's vital spot. Another sound of breaking. The second inmate followed in Li Ming's footsteps. This kid is no ordinary guy. He seems like a trained fighter. The remaining 3 inmates exchanged glances, communicating quickly with their eyes. They all withdrew at the same time, putting on fawning smiles. Misunderstanding, it's all a misunderstanding. Since Boss Li has been defeated by you, you're our new boss now. Yes, only the strongest can be our boss, another inmate echoed, moving closer to Su Changqing. Su Changqing watched the 3 approach and stepped forward himself. Since it's a misunderstanding, then all of you die together. He kicked the middle inmate in the stomach with full force, sending him flying back several meters into a dilapidated van, vomiting bile. The remaining 2 realized they had been seen through and dropped the act. Cursing, they attacked Su Changqing. Su Changqing was faster, grabbing one by the throat and pinning him to the ground. Su Shui was stunned. Was this the silent, aloof Su Changqing she knew? He was a war god. A flawless 1v5 victory. She never expected Su Changqing to be such a hidden master. She wondered why he kept such a low profile at school. Su Shui's heart pounded. A powerful man held an irresistible allure. Not just Su Shui, but Lu Kai, Li Xiaowei, and the other classmates were all utterly shocked. When did Su Changqing become so formidable? The onlookers' faces turned pale as they stepped back. Though Su Changqing had used underhanded tactics, the fact remained that he had taken on 5 opponents alone. Su Changqing used all his strength, choking the 2 prisoners until their faces turned crimson. In their death throes, they flailed and struck back, but Su Changqing stood firm, his hands tightening. Their blows landed on him like harmless taps. In less than a minute, both prisoners were completely asphyxiated. Su Changqing released his grip and looked up at Li Ming, who was curled on the ground, and the other 2 unconscious prisoners. Since enmity was already sown, he could not leave any loose ends. Mimicking what he had seen in movies, he grabbed both men's heads and twisted them sharply to ensure they would not revive. With a crisp crack, their heads lolled lifeless beyond. A chill ran through the crowd. This young man was a ruthless killer, finishing off even those already dead. Su Changqing's hands felt numb. It was his first time taking a life, but it mattered little. Su Shui was a key figure in his system mission, and he had to save her. Li Ming struggled to lift his head, and the moment he saw Su Changqing, a vicious glint flashed in his eyes. Spare me, I. Su Changqing placed his foot on Li Ming's neck and pressed down hard, a bone snapping. Li Ming's plea was cut short. Next time you beg for mercy, control those unruly eyes of yours. Su Changqing stepped over Li Ming and approached the remaining 2 prisoners. With 2 swift stomps, he broke their necks. Only when all 5 were dead did he heave a long sigh. His first kill was quite exhilarating. The regional channel count changed 95,100. Friend, since you killed Li Ming and his crew, you should lead our convoy from now on. Well, I'll follow your... A portly corporate executive, Zhang Dehui, stepped forward, bowing and scraping to Su Changqing. Turning to the crowd, he asked, "Isn't that right, everyone?" "Yes, well, I'll follow you. From now on, you're our leader." Su Changqing smirked. This guy, a manager, indeed knew how to read the room. The role of convoy leader was tempting, but why would he burden himself with a bunch of dead weight? I have no interest in being the convoy leader. Let whoever wants it have it. Su Changqing walked over to Su Shue's van and studied her closely. With shoulder-length hair and bangs, a Milan blue short-sleeve shirt, silver-gray casual pants, and a delicate nose above expressive large eyes, her most striking feature was her exquisite figure. No wonder she was the campus belle. As agreed, I've killed them. Come with me. Su Changqing extended his hand. Su Shui gritted her teeth, struggled internally for a few seconds, but ultimately did not take it. She stepped out of the driver's seat. Su Changqing, thank you for saving me. Su Changqing didn't mind her refusal. As long as she agreed to be his passenger, that was enough. He didn't rush to take her back, as there were other matters to attend to. He placed his hand on her van. Ownerless, dilapidated van. Can be dismantled into metal 𝑃, glass 𝑃, plastic 𝑃, rubber 𝑃. Note, this van, on the verge of falling apart, might be unwanted by anyone, for who knows if it will collapse or stall on the road. The owner must be a bold one. Dismantle. Dismantle. Su Changqing chose without hesitation. Though the materials were few besides Su Shue's van, there were 5 more. You obtain metal 𝑃, glass 𝑃, plastic 𝑃, rubber 𝑃. Reminder, collected supplies will be prioritized into personal storage space. Su Changqing opened his storage space and saw the materials inside. This function was very convenient. Su Shui, watching her van vanish, was stunned. Where's my van? My big van. I dismantled it into materials, Su Changqing replied, walking to the other ownerless vans and repeating the process, choosing to dismantle them all. You obtain metal 𝑃, glass 𝑃, plastic 𝑃, rubber 𝑃. You obtain metal 𝑃, glass 𝑃, plastic 𝑃, rubber 𝑃. After 5 times, the materials obtained were identical. Su Changqing now had a considerable stock. Metal 𝑃60, a glass 𝑃24, plastic 𝑃18, rubber 𝑃24. Tasting the sweetness, his eyes lit up as he looked at the crowd, hesitating. He pondered whether to dismantle their vehicles too. Just then someone shouted, "Oh no, look behind. It looks like a sandstorm is coming." The group turned in confusion. This was a highway flanked by plains. A sandstorm? No, that's not a sandstorm. It's the zombies from the announcement. Someone quickly realized the truth, squinting to see beneath the dust clouds a dense horde of running figures. Everyone's legs trembled in fear as they dashed to their vans. Su Changqing's expression grew grim. The announcement had said the zombies would advance at 30 km/h in half an hour. That translated to about 8.33 milliseconds, the speed of a sprinting adult. The horde was only a few kilometers away. If they delayed, their dilapidated vans with their pitiful defenses would only feed the zombies. Hurry, Su Changqing said, grabbing Su Shue's wrist and running to the van. Several vans were already starting up and speeding off. The highway was 100 meters wide, so there was no worry of congestion. Su Changqing took the key from his storage space, unlocked the door, and inserted it to start the engine. Meanwhile, Su Shui had already opened the passenger door and gotten in. The door slammed shut. The engine roared to life, and the old van slowly picked up speed. Su Changqing breathed a sigh of relief, hoping this junker wouldn't fail him in a critical moment. Through the rearview mirror, the dust storm raised by the zombie horde darkened the sky. Who knew how many there were? 1,000, 10,000, or more? In the regional chat channel, aside from a few unlucky owners, most vans had started successfully. Changqing, help. My van won't start. Can anyone save me? I'm willing to be a passenger. 𝑃, brother, you're on your own. The zombies are catching up. Who dares to save you? Xiangjiang. You heartless bastards, you're not human. I curse you to die a horrible death. Zhen Ziyuan, damn people like you deserve to die. Su Shui watched the argument in the chat channel in silence. When she was in trouble at her most desperate, no one had offered a hand except Su Changqing. Compared to those unfortunate souls, she was lucky. Su Changqing closed the regional channel and opened the vehicle upgrade options. Many components can be upgraded, including the engine, body, windows, headlights, tires, air conditioner, fuel tank, seats, roof, onboard toolbox, and suspension system. Su Changqing frowned. The components required a large variety and quantity of materials. The most urgent upgrade was the engine to increase the van's speed, but with the materials currently available, it was not enough. Old worn-out van LV1. Brand new off-road vehicle LV2 requires at least 5 components upgraded to LV1. Worn-out engine LV0. Brand new engine LV1 requires materials metal 𝑃10, bearings 𝑃4, rubber 𝑃5, a leather 𝑃10, spark plug 𝑃1. The metal and rubber materials were sufficient, but the critical issue was the lack of bearings, leather, and a spark plug. Opening the trading market, it was completely empty. It seemed the trading market was limited to those who could access the regional channel, and since everyone had not yet started searching for supplies, naturally, there was nothing. Just then a message popped up behind the upgrade option. You can upgrade using 4 survival points with no additional cost. Su Changqing's lips curled slightly. Now that Su Shui had joined, they could earn 2 survival points per day surviving in this world. Survival points are precious. Right now I only have the one survival point gifted by the system, so I can't upgrade even if I want to. Though the engine could not be upgraded for now, Su Changqing carefully inspected and found several components that could be upgraded. After deliberation, he chose to upgrade the tires and the onboard toolbox. Age tire LV0. Brand new tire LV1 requires materials rubber X12, metal X16 can be replaced by 2 survival points. Onboard toolbox LV1 requires materials metal X5, plastic X5 can be replaced by 1 survival point. Now the aged tires of the van were heavily worn and smooth, the rubber deteriorated and friction was extremely poor. Upgrading could significantly improve speed. Moreover, the onboard toolbox was something the old van hadn't even been equipped with. If a small problem occurred, there would be no tools to fix it. Do you want to consume rubber X17 and metal X21 to upgrade tires and onboard toolbox? Su Changqing directly selected yes. Upgrade successful. Brand new tire LV1, a barely adequate tire, but you still shouldn't expect it to drive normally on mud or ice. Onboard toolbox LV1, a toolbox containing vehicle repair tools, you might be able to fix something with it. The worn-out van gave a slight tremor, and then Su Changqing saw through the rearview mirror that the tires had completely changed, becoming brand new. On the vehicle interface, the maximum speed of the worn-out van had also increased from 60 km/h to 70 km/h, and the speed began to rise. Our van seems to have gotten a lot faster. Su Shui, still shaken in the passenger seat, exclaimed softly. Originally trailing near the end, they began to slowly catch up to the van ahead. Just upgraded the tires, Su Changqing replied, continuing to focus on driving. If they crashed into another van, everyone might be finished. Su Shui stopped talking, remaining silent, staring at the regional channel. In just a few minutes, the number of people in the regional channel fell to 92, meaning the 3 whose vans had broken down had already become snacks for the zombies. Su Changqing drove at full speed, slowly overtaking everyone. Regional channel. Lu Kai, damn, we all have the same worn-out vans. How is Su Changqing's van faster than ours? Must be cheating. Tangda, the boss, dismantled 6 vehicles, he must have upgraded the tires. Isn't it normal that new tires run faster than worn-out ones? Wang Renjia, I've finished my bread. I'm so hungry. Does anyone have extra food? Can someone lend me some? Zhang Dehui, everyone's initial food and vehicles are the same. No one else has extra food either. Wang Renjia, are we going to starve to death? After driving for over an hour, Su Changqing suddenly saw a cluster of small structures ahead. He arrived about 10 minutes later. It was a small town spread out on both sides of a straight highway resembling a modern town style. In front of some shops, there were even many gray-skinned people, their clothes tattered and stained with dried blood. Hearing the vehicle, they turned their heads stiffly, revealing hollow eyes with unknown mixtures smeared on their mouths. Zombies. Su Changqing didn't stop. He drove straight ahead. Ahead, zombies rushed out from the shops one after another, many having already reached the road. The worn-out van's body durability was only 30 points. It certainly couldn't withstand zombie attacks. He tried to steer to avoid hitting zombies, but one zombie still managed to block the van. Su Changqing gritted his teeth, tightened his grip on the steering wheel, and charged forward. He must not be surrounded by these zombies. He tried to steer to avoid hitting zombies, but one zombie still managed to block the van. Su Changqing gritted his teeth, tightened his grip on the steering wheel, and charged forward. Body durability 2. Killed zombie X1, obtained survival coin X1. Then another bang sound, the van rolled over the zombie's corpse. Good thing I upgraded the tires, or we might have rolled over, Su Changqing thought, gratefully looking straight ahead and continuously turning the steering wheel to avoid obstacles. 10 minutes later, they finally escaped unscathed, having survived the ordeal. Both let out a long sigh of relief. Su Shui was grateful that she had gotten on Su Changqing's van. If she had been driving, she would have panicked and jerked the wheel at the sight of zombies. The thought of accidentally driving into a horde of zombies sent chills down her spine. Should we warn them? Su Shui looked weakly at Su Changqing in the driver's seat, seeking his opinion. Su Changqing gave Su Shui a faint glance which made her tense up. I remember you once asked for help on the regional channel. Do as you wish. At those words, Su Shui fell silent. Yes, in her despair earlier she had begged for help from her classmates, and even from everyone, but they all chose to look away coldly. If Su Changqing hadn't intervened, she would definitely have been imprisoned by those criminals, and her fate would have been 100 times worse than death. You were ruthless first. In that case, all of you can die, all of you go die. Su Shui was hysterical inside, revealing a terrifying smile. Thank you, Su Changqing. If it weren't for you, I might have already. Su Shui said sincerely. Su Changqing didn't see Su Shui's message on the regional channel. He nodded slightly, not even realizing that his careless remark had awakened a terrifying demon. Driving the van onward along the highway after passing the small town, there was another stretch of endless plains. Before long, the regional channel became lively. Yangwu were saved. There's a town ahead, definitely supplies there. We can collect a good amount. Lu Yunjing, great. We won't starve to death. Before a few minutes passed, all the optimistic talk turned into wails. Kai Wenbin, damn, it's over. There are zombies everywhere. My van is surrounded. Please, boss, save me. Tao Xiaolan, my van overturned. Can someone come and save me? The zombies are smashing my van. Its durability is dropping so fast. The area channel was filled with despair and fear. In stark contrast, Su Changqing felt a sense of ease as he passed through the small town and onto the endless. He quickly noticed that the number of people in the area channel began to dwindle, indicating that some had perished. It was impossible not to lose anyone amidst so many zombies. This situation persisted for about 10 minutes, leaving 81 people in the area channel. Su Changqing did not speak in the channel as his, and Su Shue's condition was not much better. With one hand on the wheel, he took out a bag of bread from his storage space weighing only about 100 grams. The packaging had no writing, revealing no useful information. He grabbed the bread with one hand, tore it open with his mouth, and began to chew. It was rather dry and almost choked him. He quickly retrieved the only bottle of mineral water, bit off the cap, and gulped down a large mouthful. If I can't find food soon, I'll have to go hungry tonight. I hope to reach the next supply point quickly. Su Changqing leaned against the car window, contemplating that he was the only one on the highway with a van, allowing him to be less focused. Right, it seems I can buy things at the survival point. Let's see what they have. Su Changqing mentally controlled the light curtain, and next to the trading market appeared a survival mall. He confirmed his selection to enter a brand new mall page. There were currently 2 categories: food and weapons. Su Changqing's eyes lit up as he clicked on the food category. Familiar items immediately came into view, with mineral water at the top. To his surprise, it was priced reasonably. Mineral water 500 milliliters x 24, priced at 1 survival point. A full 24 bottles for only 1 survival point. Moreover, the food items below made Su Changqing tremble with excitement. Bread 100 g x 24, priced at 1 survival point. Rice 500 g x 20, priced at 1 survival point. Roast chicken 500 g x 10, priced at 1 survival point. Delicate children's milk powder 500 g x 50, priced at 1 survival point. Looking at the various familiar foods, all abundant yet priced at just 1 survival point each, Su Changqing realized for the first time that survival points had far more utility than he had anticipated. However, with only 2 survival points produced in a day, it was indeed too little and should be used wisely. In September, the temperature normally hovered around 35 degrees Celsius, and he yearned to buy food and feast to replenish his strength. Still, he held back. Currently, he only had the 1 survival point given by the system at the start, which had to be used in more suitable ways. Suppressing his restless heart, he opened the weapon category, where various weapons were available. From small embroidery needles to large cleavers, a dazzling array awaited him. Standard issue dagger X1, priced at 1 survival point. Description: a dagger produced on a factory assembly line, limited sharpness. Common fire axe X1, priced at 1 survival point. Description: countless novels and movies have proven that even a mere ordinary fire axe can easily slay zombies. Steel spear X1, priced at 1 survival point. Description: from primitive society to now, it has witnessed the rise and fall of countless civilizations. Su Changqing smiled happily. Between food and weapons, he chose the latter. Food could be endured, but without a weapon in hand, he felt no sense of security in a world filled with zombies. What was most crucial now was to produce survival points, and the only way to do that was to complete survival tasks. Su Changqing fixed his gaze sharply on Su Shue in the passenger seat. With a potential score of 92, she must possess some remarkable qualities. Why are you looking at me like that? Su Shue, sensing his gaze, turned to look at the driver's seat with a puzzled expression. It's nothing. Su Changqing smiled slightly. Since you are now my passenger, let me be clear, I do not support idle people in my vehicle. Whether it's searching for supplies or killing zombies, you must come along. Understand? I won't hold you back. Su Shue recalled the zombie's appearance and replied through gritted teeth. Su Changqing was unsure what Su Shue was thinking as he prepared to purchase a weapon. With a weapon, whether dealing with humans or zombies, he would have a certain degree of self-defense. Do you wish to spend 1 survival point to purchase a military machete X1? Confirm. You have obtained military machete X1, a description: standard military machete, handle length 25 centimeters, blade length 50 centimeters, or must-have for wilderness survival. Su Changqing looked at the newly acquired military machete in his storage space with great satisfaction. He chose the military machete for its lightweight and ease. Continuing to drive along the highway, he was unaware that 2 hours had passed, and it was nearing 6 p.m. Gurgle. In the dilapidated van, both Su Changqing and Su Shue were starving, having finished the only piece of bread and 500 milliliters of mineral water. On the journey, it felt as though they were sitting in a steamer. Su Shue had asked Su Changqing several times to turn on the air conditioning, but he had refused. Even with the windows open, it was still very hot. Su Changqing didn't turn on the air conditioning because this old van could only hold 35 liters of fuel at full capacity. With a fuel consumption of 7 liters per 100 kilometers after nearly 4 hours, and over 250 kilometers, only half of the fuel remained. 𝂃, are we going to starve to death? Su Shui was anxious, feeling both thirsty and hungry after half a day, as she had never endured such hardship. Don't worry, I won't let you starve to death, 𝂃 assured a despairing Su Shui. While others might perish, he and Su Shui certainly would not. At that moment, the system announcement sounded in everyone's ears. 𝂃, congratulations to all players for surviving the day's zombie chase. Now here's a piece of good news and a piece of bad news. The good news is that the zombie tide will cease from 6 p.m. until 6 a.m. the next morning, allowing everyone to rest peacefully at night. The bad news is that zombies in the wild will become more active at night, with sharper senses and swifter movements. After the announcement, the area channel became lively. 𝂃, great. We don't have to fear being pursued by zombies at night, and can rest easy. 𝂃, without food, without water, and with fuel running low, if we can't find supplies soon, once the van stops, we'll become food for the zombies behind. 𝂃 noted that 𝂃 and 𝂃 were among the more active participants in the area channel. Surprised they were still alive. 𝂃, look, there's a city ahead. Su Shui exclaimed with excitement, standing up from the passenger seat, her eyes fixed on the buildings rising ahead on the road. It really is a city. 𝂃 came back to his senses, staring at the distant city through the windshield, muttering, we're lucky, we can gather supplies in this. Food and water might be exchanged for survival points, but fuel is a must-gather resource. Without it, the van won't continue, and the zombie horde behind them will catch up. After driving another 10 minutes about 3 kilometers from the city, 𝂃 pulled the van over to the right and stopped. The buildings here were much taller and more numerous than those in the previous town, a county-level scale. Senior 𝂃, aren't we going to gather supplies? Su Shui looked at him with confusion as he stopped the car to gather supplies. It's clearly a place to gather supplies ahead, but you're stopping halfway. The announcement said that from 1800 to 600 the wild zombies will be more active. With poor visibility at night, gathering supplies is not wise. 𝂃 rolled his eyes at Su Shui. If you want to go, I can drive you to search for supplies. No, it's fine. Even if I'm hungry, I can go a day or two without. Su Shui shrank her neck. Thinking of facing those terrifying zombies, she felt being hungry was better. Su Shui, don't you think we should share this good news with other survivors? Really tell them. What if they take all the supplies and we're left with nothing? Don't worry, this county is big. They can't exhaust it. 𝂃 kept persuading. We are all human, we should help each other. There was one thing he didn't say: the unknown city must have many unknown dangers, and they needed someone to scout ahead. Su Shui was full of suspicion. She would believe others, but not 𝂃's words. After all, it was 𝂃 who had previously dissuaded her from telling everyone about the zombies. Despite her doubts, Su Shui still followed 𝂃's instructions and spoke in the regional channel. After all, what did the lives of those people have to do with her? Regional channel. Su Shui, everyone, we encountered a county-level gathering point ahead. Everyone can come and gather supplies. 𝂃, great, finally, no need to fear starving to death. Wang Renjia, having a fast car is good, you find resources first and have a huge advantage. 𝂃, everyone be careful, read the announcements. The county definitely has a lot of zombies. Drive slowly when approaching, don't alert them, and it's best to park outside the county. Li Xiaowei, thank you Senior 𝂃 for the reminder. Unlike some people who only talk about resources and deliberately omit the dangers misleading us, 𝂃, I didn't expect my goddess to be such a person. Su Shui's face turned pale. In the regional channel, many people were denouncing her. Now she had become the public enemy of the regional channel. At that moment, she finally understood 𝂃's intention. She was completely tied to his van. Even if he let her go, people with ulterior motives would be hard to accept. She trembled and questioned 𝂃, you did it on purpose, didn't you? On purpose? Are you misunderstanding something? 𝂃 shrugged. I just added what you missed. It's not easy to find someone with a comprehensive potential score of 92. Using a little trick is no big deal, it only benefits her, no harm. 𝂃 watched the sky rapidly darken outside the window, feeling incredible, as if it were a weather switching system in a game. About an hour later, others drove their vans and caught up with 𝂃, who had stopped. Regional channel. Everyone, I saw a van with its lights off on the road. It's probably 𝂃's car. The gathering point is probably ahead. Everyone be careful, don't alert the zombies. 𝂃 told us the news, but didn't go in himself. He must want us to take the lead. It's an open scheme. We have no choice. Considering he kindly warned us, let's let it go. One by one, the old vans began to slow down, a total of 80 vehicles. The headlights illuminated the outline of a county ahead. Everyone was excited. After half a day of thirst and hunger, they just wanted to search for supplies quickly. The convoy slowly approached the county. No zombies were seen on either side of the road, which made everyone's heart skip a beat. They carefully parked the cars by the roadside, using the headlights to illuminate the houses. Someone bravely approached, cautiously peered into the house, and found a box of biscuits on the table. He licked his lips, slowly crept and walked to the table, and successfully grabbed the biscuits. Onion oil biscuits. Description: common biscuits in supermarkets can be used as snacks. The man was overjoyed and tore open the wrapper, stuffing it into his mouth. Cough, cough. Nearly choked. The man immediately spoke in the regional channel. Brothers, there really are supplies here. At that, the others could no longer hold back. They began heading to other houses, jostling each other. The sounds of cars and noise grew louder. You fools, keep it down. If you alert the zombies, we're all doomed. Zhang Dehui immediately warned in the regional channel. But everyone was nearly starving to death, so they didn't care. However, they were lucky. For a short time, they didn't spot any zombies. Found one metal, one rubber, but no food. I found one glass here, got my hopes up for nothing. Soon everyone realized that food was very scarce, but other supplies could be found in almost every house. One per house, or two, or three with luck. Some found flashlights, others found lighters. The small town began to light up with lamps, and everyone searched for supplies with excited faces. Until a scream broke the night's silence. Some woman shrieked, and then a large number of zombies surged from the darkness, all around, rushing toward the source. Idiot, who the hell screamed? Dozens of people turned pale and immediately ran to their cars. Some, unable to escape from the houses, could only use tables and chairs to block the doors, then cover their mouths and noses, slow their breathing, and pray not to be discovered by the zombies. Some drove back away from the county. Su Changqing and Su Shui watched everything in the regional channel, feeling somewhat relieved that they hadn't ventured in recklessly. The county was pitch black and very dangerous. They waited until midnight of the next day. Ding. Congratulations on surviving one day. Detected a passenger with a comprehensive potential score of no less than 90 on the vehicle. Today's survival points too. Ding. Congratulations on completing today's survival mission. Please choose one of the following 3 rewards. 1. M20 pistol with 30 bullets. Description: magazine capacity 15 rounds, uses 9mm bullets, effective range 50 m. 2. Assorted flavor combo meals X10. A description: in the apocalypse, a single combo meal can trigger a bloody incident. 3. A watch worth $1 million. Description: this is a watch from a player with a comprehensive potential score of up to 98. In a corner of the survival world, a woman stamped her foot, nearly exploding with rage. I'm so furious. How did my watch suddenly disappear? Could someone have stolen it with a prop? Don't let me catch them, or else. She ground her teeth audibly, for the watch was her most cherished possession. Su Changqing stared at the 3 options in ecstasy. The second one wasn't bad. It was a combo meal. In this apocalypse, its price would surely be exorbitant. The third option was somewhat useless. A watch's primary function was to tell time, but the system already displayed the time. Choosing a watch worth $1 million was far inferior to picking the combo meal. He immediately selected the first option. A handgun was always the ultimate truth, especially in the apocalypse. Although gunfire would attract zombies, it was a divine weapon against humans. He now possessed a strength of 12 points, and if several people attacked him with cold weapons, he would still be in danger. Now with the handgun, whoever came would die. Su Changqing opened the system and browsed the survival mall for food. After much deliberation, he spent 1 survival point to buy roast chicken 500 GX10, leaving him with only 1 point. His stomach growled fiercely. Without eating something, he couldn't sleep at all. Tomorrow he would have to continue surviving and needed plenty of energy. Moreover, chicken could replenish a great deal of energy. Consuming half a kilogram a day was sufficient. With 5 kilograms of roast chicken, if rationed, it would last 2 people for 5 days. He tore off a drumstick and devoured it greedily, his mouth greasy. Then he tore off another drumstick and handed it to Su Shui, who was staring at him wide-eyed in shock. Eat up and rest early. I'm exhausted today. Chewing the fragrant drumstick vigorously, he thought to himself that having a college beauty as a crew member wasn't bad. She was pleasing to the eye. Su Changqing muttered inwardly, quickly finished his drumstick, turned on the air conditioner, and the car began to cool down. What are you waiting for? Finish eating and go to sleep. Tomorrow we'll go scavenge for supplies together. Su Changqing noticed Su Shui still holding the drumstick frozen in place. Frowning, he reminded her, casually wiped his greasy hands on his pants, lay down on the reclined back seat, and soon fell into a deep sleep. Su Shui still hadn't processed how Su Changqing had conjured roast chicken out of thin air. She couldn't figure it out. Could his newbie gift pack have contained roast chicken? That suddenly appeared chicken, a whole roast chicken weighing at least 5 kilograms. Where had it come from? In that moment, Su Changqing became utterly mysterious in her eyes. She had been with him in the car the whole time and hadn't gone out to scavenge. Although the current trading market had various supplies, there was none of this food. Forget it, I'll ask him when he wakes up tomorrow. Su Shui suppressed her curiosity, took the drumstick in her hand, and devoured it eagerly. Seeing her hands covered in grease, Su Shui reluctantly wiped them on her pants like Su Changqing had done and laid down beside him to sleep. The car was only so big. If she didn't sleep there, she couldn't exactly sleep in the passenger seat. The temperature inside the car gradually dropped. Both were too tired and soon fell asleep. The next day, as soon as dawn broke, Su Changqing woke up. I haven't slept this soundly in a long time. Su Changqing stretched. He had slept for about 11 hours last night and woke up full of vigor. He glanced at Su Shui, who was still fast asleep beside him. Su Shui, wake up. The sun's burning your butt, and you're still not getting up. He pinched her cheek until she reluctantly opened her eyes. Su Changqing, why are you waking me up so early? Su Shui rubbed her eyes. Having spent the whole day yesterday on the move, she was dead tired and hadn't slept enough. Su Changqing turned off the air conditioner in the battered van. Get up quickly. We have about 4 hours to scavenge supplies. In 4 hours, the zombie horde behind us will catch up. If you don't want to die, move now. Su Changqing took out the roast chicken and a military machete, cut off the chicken's tail, and then sliced off a wing. Hey, race your food for today. You eat the tip, and he'll take the wing. After cutting, he stored the remaining chicken back into his inventory. Food was precious and had to be rationed according to plan. With 5 kilograms of roast chicken, if the two of them ate half a kilo a day, it could last 5 days. Su Shui stared blankly at the pointed chicken, but that Su Changqing had shoved into her hand, nearly in tears. I'm your crew member, and you treat me like this. Doesn't your conscience ache? Don't worry, I have no conscience. You can throw it away if you don't want to eat. Su Changqing wasn't going to indulge her. He couldn't waste food, and since he didn't like the chicken, but giving it to Su Shui seemed perfectly reasonable. Su Shui knew that no matter what she did, Su Changqing wouldn't pay her any heed. Looking at the military machete in his hand, her curiosity grew. She studied him from head to toe. Where did you get the roast chicken and the military machete? Su Changqing knew he couldn't hide this for long, especially from a crew member in the car. More crew would join later, and some things would inevitably be revealed. He must never expose the survival system, but he could blame the appearance of these items on Fate Path. Have you ever heard of Fate Path? Su Changqing looked at Su Shui meaningfully. Su Shui's eyes widened. Fate Path, an entirely new term that had never appeared in the regional chat channel. This meant that among these 100 people, only Su Changqing knew about this matter. What is Fate Path? Su Shui's curiosity was piqued. She had a premonition that Fate Path was extremely important in the survival game. You can think of it as a powerful profession like an esper or a cultivator in anime. My path might grant me some food, or even weapons, every day. Su Changqing's voice turned somber. He wondered if he could acquire other paths in the future. For now, the path of survival only had a single passive skill, good fortune, which was clearly not a combat-oriented path, but more of a growth type, one unable to grant him a direct boost in combat power. So how do I awaken it? Su Shui asked, her eyes sparkling as she stared intently at Su Changqing. I don't know either, but maybe by gathering supplies we can find some useful information. Su Changqing's lips curled into a faint smile. Finish eating quickly and come with me. Maybe you'll get lucky and awaken your path all of a sudden. So what exactly is your path? Su Shui couldn't help but ask. You'll find out later. Also, don't tell anyone about my awakening. Su Changqing didn't give a direct answer. But I think you have great potential. Maybe you'll awaken soon enough. It wasn't that he was lying. It was the system's rating. Su Shui felt a flicker of hope, yet she couldn't shake the feeling that Su Changqing was just stringing her along. She sighed inwardly, her eyes falling on the chicken, but in her hand. She really couldn't bring herself to eat it. But if she didn't eat, she might not even have the strength to run if they encountered a zombie. A mental battle raged within her, and finally she steeled herself. She shoved the chicken but into her mouth and swallowed it in a few quick bites. The overpowering taste nearly made her vomit. Su Changqing watched her silently, nodding in approval. Su Shui was decisive. He hoped she wouldn't be a liability. He started the battered van and drove toward the county town. Along the way they passed many vehicles and even saw some corpses, both human and zombie. Opening the regional channel, Su Changqing noticed the number of survivors had dropped from 81 to 72, meaning 9 people had died last night. He drove on, heading for the unexplored central area of the county. Some people spotted Su Changqing's old van, noting the upgraded brand new tires. Their eyes flickered, but no one made a move. They simply watched the van drive past in silence. Su Changqing drove to the center of the county. They had likely scoured many areas last night, and the outskirts had probably been picked clean. There was nothing left. The old van reached the town center, where most buildings were around 10 stories high and stood much closer together. Even though he had tried to keep the engine noise low, the sound still attracted a zombie not far away. Hearing the noise behind it, the zombie turned its stiff neck and shuffled toward the van like a machine. Su Changqing killed the engine, grabbed a military machete, and pushed open the door. Su Shui followed closely behind, her face tense. Su Changqing took a deep breath. It was his first time facing a real zombie, and he couldn't deny his nervousness. The palm holding the machete was already slick with sweat. He recalled the traits of zombies from movies and anime. The head was their weakness, and most importantly, they moved like beasts devoid of intelligence. Su Shui clamped her hand over her mouth, her tension reaching its peak. Su Changqing gripped the machete and walked toward the zombie. As they drew closer, the zombie seemed to catch the scent of flesh. It sniffed the air, let out a guttural roar, and then suddenly burst into a sprint towards 𝑃. As expected, zombies are highly sensitive to the smell of blood and flesh. With an agility stat of 12 points, 𝑃 was faster than the zombie. He sidestepped, swiftly dodging the lunging creature. The stench of rot hit his nose, assaulting his senses. 𝑃 felt a rush of adrenaline. He had a clear shot at the back of the zombie's head. One swing, and he could take it off. But he didn't. He needed to get used to the zombie's attack rhythm first. 𝑃 had already retreated 20 meters away. 𝑃 is toying with the zombie. He's had plenty of chances to kill it, but hasn't. No, he's slowly adapting to its attacks. 𝑃 was stunned. In just over 10 minutes, 𝑃 had gone from clumsy to proficient. After that, he began using the flat of the blade to strike the zombie's head, neck, limbs, and chest, honing his skills. Some people are born for combat, and 𝑃 is one of them. 𝑃 suddenly felt that being his crew member wasn't so bad. 2 people surviving together was better than 1. What are you muttering about over there? 𝑃 had fully mastered the zombie's attack pattern. After more than 10 minutes of practice, he had essentially figured out its moves. Zombies were even dumber than beasts. They never dodged attacks. Their only advantage was their decent stats, which made them dangerous to ordinary people. But with a weapon, they could be taken down. 𝑃 sidestepped slightly, letting the zombie lunge past him. He raised the military machete and swung it down with force. The blade sliced cleanly through the zombie's neck, and black ichor sprayed from the wound, filling the air with a foul stench. The moment the zombie died, an object dropped beside it. At the same time, a system notification sounded. You have killed a zombie X1. Survival coin 1. 𝑃 picked up the item dropped by the zombie. You have obtained plastic X1. Description: a common upgrade material. The survival coin for killing a zombie is added directly to the system, but other material drops need to be picked up manually. 𝑃 muttered to himself, storing the plastic in his inventory. Let's search this building. 𝑃 pointed to the 10-story building ahead and spoke to 𝑃, who had walked over. 𝑃 nodded repeatedly. The way she looked at 𝑃 had changed. His transition from clumsy to composed in dealing with the zombie proved he was a huge potential asset. Maybe following him was her best chance to survive. Now, even if he tried to drive her away, she wouldn't leave. But 𝑃's next words made her face pale. You go ahead and clear the path. They'll cover you from behind. He pointed forward. That's not a good idea. I don't have any weapon. 𝑃 panicked. What if a zombie burst out from behind a door? Would she be delivering herself to it? If you don't want to lead the way, then from today on you'll have to find your own food. 𝑃 stepped forward with his machete. 𝑃 immediately rushed ahead. She hadn't missed what happened in the regional chat channel yesterday. The county did have supplies, but they were extremely scarce, especially food and water. Basic materials like metal, plastic, wood, rubber, fiber, and glass made up nearly 80% of what was found. Moreover, searching was incredibly time-consuming. The buildings in this county looked like they had been abandoned for years, covered in dust. In a 4- or 5-story house, most of the time, you'd only find one material, and if you were lucky too. They could be anywhere: on the bed, in the toilet, on the balcony, in the wardrobe, anywhere at all. But there were not only supplies in the house, but also zombies. Someone was almost caught. The trading market had now begun to flourish with various materials and daily necessities, but almost no food or water. Now the most precious were food and water, followed by materials for upgrading vehicles, and finally daily necessities. The trade mode was barter. Someone begged for food in the regional channel, offering 3 basic materials for a 100g loaf of bread, but still no one responded, because they themselves did not have enough to eat. If they ate today, what about tomorrow? The day after tomorrow? And the day after that? Bear in mind, today was only the 2nd day of survival. They still needed food for 5 more days. Those who had food were hiding it. They could slowly search for materials if they lacked them, but once the food was sold, heaven knew when they would find food again. 𝑃 walked ahead, taking the initiative to clear the path. As long as she did as 𝑃 said, she wouldn't starve to death. Her intuition told her that 𝑃 would not easily abandon her to die here. From yesterday, she could tell that 𝑃 liked her very much. Gently pushing open the rusty gate, 𝑃 looked around, saw no zombies, cautiously approached room 101A, and slowly pushed the door open. 𝑃 followed 1 meter behind 𝑃, ready to draw his knife at any moment. 𝑃 was a crew member with a comprehensive potential score above 90, bringing him 1 survival point every day. He couldn't let her die easily. Behind the door was modern decoration, almost no different from the original world. The eerie thing was that there was almost no trace of writing, as if it had been erased out of. 𝑃 pushed open each room one by one. No zombies. Both breathed a sigh of relief. Let's start searching. 𝑃 and 𝑃 divided their work. Supplies could be in every corner of the room. Working together greatly improved efficiency. A few minutes later, 𝑃 had almost searched every room and found Spring X1. What did you collect? 𝑃 asked 𝑃. A pack of tissues. Su Shui took out an unopened pack of tissues. Not bad, now we won't have to worry about running out of paper when using the toilet. Su Changqing picked up the tissues with satisfaction and put them into his storage space. Let's go upstairs. Next, from room 102 to 104, there were no findings, taking nearly half an hour. Could a whole building really have so little supplies? Su Changqing refused to believe it and led Su Shui up to the second floor to continue searching. Another half hour passed. From room 201 to 204, they surprisingly found no supplies. I heard from others that a building has limited supplies. Most people switch to the next building as soon as they find supplies to increase efficiency. Su Shui made the suggestion, and most supplies were indeed on the first to third floors, which was why they had found quite a bit. One more floor, let's search one more floor. Su Changqing gritted his teeth, letting Su Shui take the lead to clear the way while he covered her as before. Su Shui obediently went upstairs and pushed open the door to room 301. Roar! A zombie with hollow eyes and a rotting face jumped up from the ground, a foul stench rushing toward them, its head lunging at Su Shui. Roar! A zombie with hollow eyes and a rotting face jumped up from the ground, a foul stench, the sound of a cold weapon piercing flesh. Su Changqing quick-eyed and swift-handed thrust his knife, the tip sinking into the zombie's head. Black blood oozed along the blade, and the zombie's movement instantly ceased. Stupid woman, why are you standing there like a statue? When you see a zombie, you don't even dodge. Su Changqing pulled out his military machete. The blade had already been stained black and carried a foul smell of rotting corpse. He wiped the black blood off the blade on the zombie's clothes. A system notification came. You have obtained survival coin X1, no item dropped. It seemed whether killing zombies dropped items was entirely a matter of luck. Su Shui snapped back to reality. She had almost thought she was going to say goodbye to this world. If not for Su Changqing's timely intervention, the consequences would have been unimaginable. She looked at Su Changqing with gratitude and said, Su Changqing, thank you for saving my life. Be more careful next time. Su Changqing stepped over the zombie corpse and checked other rooms. Pushing open the master bedroom door, he saw a large barrel of gasoline on the bed. Gasoline. Su Changqing was overjoyed, quickly stepping forward and putting the gasoline into his storage space. You have obtained gasoline 50LX1. Description: gasoline lost in the survival world. Its dream is to be found and burn itself. With this barrel of gasoline, it's enough for tomorrow and the day after. Su Changqing was immensely grateful that he had insisted on searching the third floor, thus not missing the important resource. Let's go. Well, move to the next building. Su Changqing was in a good mood. Even his lips couldn't contain his smile. Searching a building, even if only up to the third floor, took an hour and a half, leaving only a little over 2 hours for searching. This wouldn't do. The efficiency was too low. For the following searches, they could be less thorough and aim for half an hour per building. That is only 10 minutes per floor, and each floor had 4 units each with several rooms. Even if we might miss something, we can't afford to care too much. Su Changqing told Su Shui his plan. Su Shui had no objections, as she would do whatever Su Changqing said. Over the next 2 hours, the two kept busy searching, and they searched 4 more buildings. In the first building on the second floor, there were no zombies, and they found Radiator X2. Description: a necessary material for making air conditioners. Bulb description: a material for making vehicle lights. In the third building, they found bread 100GX2. Now the two arrived before the fourth building. Still, Su Shui took the lead while Su Changqing covered from behind. After searching room 101 and finding nothing, they came to the door of room 102. This time Su Shui had become smarter. She gently knocked on the door. The door didn't open, but a zombie's roar came from inside. There are zombies inside. Su Shui's face changed color. Step aside, I'll handle them. Su Changqing motioned for Su Shui to retreat, gripping the military machete in his hand, ready to strike at any moment. He strode to the door and gave it a forceful kick. The door burst open with a loud bang. In the living room, a male zombie stood facing the entrance. Hearing the commotion, it immediately lunged forward. Su Changqing was prepared. As the zombie pounced, he kicked it squarely in the body. With his strength attribute at 12 points, he sent the zombie sprawling to the floor. Taking advantage of its hampered movement, he advanced swiftly and brought the machete down, cleaving through it as effortlessly as chopping a cucumber. A torrent of black blood gushed from the zombie's neck. Zombie killed. X1 survival coin 1. This fluid and decisive sequence made Su Shui's eyes gleam with admiration. If yesterday she had been reluctant, today's observation of Su Changqing's formidable strength planted a deep seed in her heart. Being his woman didn't seem like such a bad deal. At least she wouldn't have to worry about starving. If she were still driving and searching alone, encountering a zombie like today might have cost her life. Now she felt even more fortunate to be Su Changqing's woman. Su Changqing spotted an item that had dropped after killing the zombie, a steel pipe with one end bent. He picked it up and information appeared. Steel pipe description: a steel pipe of decent quality, length 120 centimeters, diameter 5 centimeters, weight 1500 g. You can try using it against zombies. Su Changqing hefted it a couple of times. 3 Jean felt decent in hand. He tossed it directly to Su Shui. Take this steel pipe as a weapon. Use the hooked end to smash zombie heads. Su Shui caught the pipe a little excited. With this steel pipe, even if she encountered a zombie, she would have some means of self-defense. Thank you, Su Changqing. Keep checking the remaining rooms. Don't let your guard down. Su Changqing motioned for Su Shui, still covering her. Su Shui's mouth twitched. The warmth that had just filled her heart was doused like cold water. Got it. The master bedroom had no zombies, nor did the guest room. The balcony was empty and the storage room was clear. Only the bathroom remained. Su Shui gripped the steel pipe with both hands and gently pushed the bathroom door open with her foot. A zombie with unknown filth smeared around its mouth lunged at her face. Up! Su Shui instinctively screamed and shut her eyes, swinging the pipe downward with both hands while shouting, "Don't eat me, don't eat me." The pipe in her hands kept crashing down. Su Changqing frowned. Su Shui, snap out of it. You've already killed the zombie. The zombie's head had turned into a pulpy mess splattered on the walls, the door, and Su Shui's clothes. Su Shui opened her eyes upon hearing him. Instead of a zombie, she saw a pile of mush. The pungent stench of rotting flesh assaulted her nostrils, drilling deep into her mind. Ugh! Su Shui stared at the mess and retched. You didn't throw up when you saw the zombie corpse earlier. Why now? Su Changqing was speechless. He retrieved a pack of tissues from his storage space, tore it open, pulled out one, and handed it to Su Shui. It's different. This is my first time killing. Su Shui shook her head, took the tissue to wipe her mouth, her hands still trembling slightly. There seems to be supplies over there. Su Shui noticed a blueprint lying in the corner of the bathroom. Su Changqing stepped over the corpse and picked up the blueprint. Information immediately appeared. Water purifier blueprint description: can be used to craft a water purifier. Produces a certain amount of water daily. Single-use item consumed upon crafting. Water purifier required materials: wood X6, fiber X6, plastic X4. Water purifier blueprint may substitute material consumption with 2 survival points. The materials needed for the water purifier were all common. The rare item was the blueprint. Today's luck was truly remarkable. Su Changqing was in good spirits. He stored the blueprint in his inventory, planning to craft it upon returning. He lacked some of the required materials, but could trade with others in the market. As for using survival points, that was unnecessary. Survival points were currently limited in yield, only 2 per day, and needed to be used wisely. Su Shui initiated a trade request, with Su Changqing transferring the survival coin X1 she had earned from killing the zombie. Upon receiving the coin, Su Changqing tallied his gains for the day. The total was quite decent. Plastic X1, spring X1, gasoline 50L X1, heat sink X2, flashlight X1, bread 10G X2, tissue X1, steel pipe X1, water purifier blueprint X1, survival coins X4. Compared to others, he had fewer basic materials, but a plethora of other items. Finding 50 liters of gasoline, a water purifier blueprint, and even a steel pipe weapon. Such a high drop rate could only be attributed to the passive skill luck. Su Changqing was eager to return and craft the water purifier. With temperatures soaring over 30 degrees Celsius, he was drenched in sweat and reeked of body odor. More importantly, he hadn't found any drinking water today. The water purifier blueprint couldn't have come at a better time, solving an urgent problem. Let's go. Back to the car. We're moving out. Su Changqing called out to Su Shui, who was wiping zombie blood off her clothes with a curtain and bed sheet. Su Shui hurried after him, afraid he might leave her behind. The return journey was relatively smooth with no unexpected incidents. The county seat has zombies, but their numbers are limited. As long as you dare to venture out and search, you rarely come back empty-handed. Su Changqing got into the car and turned on the air conditioner. A cool breeze washed over them. With 50 liters of gasoline as a buffer, he could use it without worry. He opened the regional channel, which was bustling with activity. Most people were seeking food, especially water, which was even more expensive than food. Without food, as long as you had water to drink, you could survive 7 days. But without water, you'd be dead in 3 at most. Lu Kai, have pity on a poor soul. I haven't eaten for almost a full day. Is there any generous person willing to trade food? He'll offer 3 fibers. If it's bottled water, I'm willing to trade 4 fibers. Su Changqing's lips curled into a smile. Now was the peak price for food. 100G of food could fetch 3 common materials. He happened to have 2 100G loaves of bread, which he could use to trade for the materials needed to craft the water purifier. The required materials for the water purifier were currently only plastic X2. He still needed wood X6, fiber X6, and plastic X2. 12 materials in total, all common items, nothing rare. Su Changqing opened the regional channel, clicked on Lu Kai's avatar, and sent a private message. Lu Kai, I have a 100G loaf of bread. I can trade it for 3 fibers. Lu Kai, whose stomach was growling with hunger, saw the private message and opened it immediately. Last night, he had been lucky. Not only did he avoid zombies, but he also gathered 3 fibers. This morning he went out again and found a 20-liter can of gasoline plus 3 metal and 2 plastic, but still no food. If he didn't eat something soon, he thought he might pass out from hunger in the car. However, he was taken aback when he saw who had messaged him. It's actually 𝂃. No problem. Trade immediately. 𝂃 received the trade request, placed the 100g bread on the spot projected by the light screen. Once both parties confirmed, the bread vanished, replaced by 3 fibers. He picked them up and stored them in his inventory. He still needed more materials. 𝂃 decided to post in the regional channel. 𝂃 100g bread for fiber x3. He attached a screenshot of the bread's description. Someone was surprised the Big Shot actually has extra food to trade. I happen to have fibers and plastic. Big Shot'll trade with you. A man named Liu Tao immediately traded with 𝂃. 𝂃 accepted. Now only wood x6 and plastic x2 were needed to craft the water purifier. Wood 6 units and plastic 2 units were relatively easy to obtain because many items were listed on the trading market. Some people needed to exchange wood for metal, glass, fiber, or other materials. 𝂃 checked the materials he currently possessed. Metal x39, glass x24, fiber x6, plastic x2, rubber x24, spring x1, tissue x1, heatsink x2, light bulb x1, steel pipe x1, gasoline 50L x1, water purifier blueprint x1, flashlight x1, survival coins x4. Metal and rubber needed to be kept for upgrading the car body, but glass was surplus and could be traded with others. 𝂃 found 3 materials that matched, so he exchanged glass x2 for plastic x2, leaving 6 units of wood. He then directly called out in the regional channel. 𝂃, glass x1 for wood x1, a total of 6 trades already listed on the trading market. I just found a lot of wood. I'll trade with you. Someone immediately completed the trade with 𝂃 on the trading market. 𝂃 took out the traded wood, opened the vehicle interface, and selected to craft a water purifier. Water purifier required materials: wood x6, fiber x6, plastic x4, water purifier blueprint. He immediately confirmed the crafting, and at the same time the required materials decreased accordingly. Please select the installation location. Available locations: trunk roof, beside the driver's seat. Install it in the trunk. 𝂃 considered that the cabin was too cramped and unsuitable. Placing it in the trunk was just right, safe, and without affecting driving. Inside the van's trunk, a water purifier appeared. 𝂃 opened the vehicle panel to check the water purifier's information. Basic water purifier description: it is only the most basic water purifier with a daily water collection limit of 1,000 milliliters, safe and reliable. Drink with confidence. Great, no need to worry about water from now on. 𝂃 smiled broadly, in a good mood. From now on, food and water were no longer a concern. He could focus on collecting materials and upgrading the vehicle. Unfortunately, he only had 1 survival point left, far from enough for upgrades. Next, the goal was to upgrade the car body. 𝂃 looked at the materials needed for the body upgrade. He was still short of metal. Body LV0 materials required for upgrade: metal x80, rubber 20 can be substituted with 4 survival points. Rubber is enough, but I'm still short of 41 units of metal. The body requires the most materials among all components. Although I can use survival points instead, it would cost too many points. Better to save them for upgrading other vehicle parts, especially the engine. 𝂃 planned to save enough survival points and then upgrade the engine immediately, because if he wanted the van to run faster, he needed a more powerful engine. He glanced at the system time. It was almost 10 o'clock, yet the battered vans behind him had not started moving. These guys, they didn't forget that after 6 a.m. the zombie horde would start chasing again, did they? 𝂃 stared at the regional channel. Surprisingly, no one had mentioned this. Should he warn them? Definitely yes, because no one knew what they would encounter on the road ahead. If zombies blocked the way, these people would make good bait, and he also needed scouts. If these people died too quickly, who would scout? 𝂃 posted in the regional channel. Regional channel. 𝂃, everyone retreat quickly. If I'm not mistaken, the zombie horde behind us is about to catch up. 𝂃's words woke many people up. Wang Renjia, damn, I almost forgot about that. Thanks for the reminder, Big Shot, otherwise I would have been caught by the zombie horde without even noticing. Lin Yuan, thank you, Big Shot, for saving my life. They'll go back and leave immediately. Many people were shocked into a cold sweat upon seeing this, and they stopped searching, rushed back to their cars, started their vans, and set off. After warning them, 𝂃 immediately started his van, becoming the first vehicle in the convoy. Why bother warning them? Let them die. Su Shui sat in the passenger seat, pouting, still thinking about those people's insults. 𝂃 gave Su Shui a faint glance. Su Shui shrank her neck and gave a dry laugh. Su Shui's potential comprehensive score is so high, could she have a chance to awaken her destiny path? But why hasn't she awakened yet on the 2nd day? Could it be that she must experience life and death? 𝂃 muttered to himself, planning to make Su Shui face near death during the next material collection, which might stimulate her to awaken her destiny path. The battered van roared out of the county town, and soon dozens of almost identical battered vans followed, rushing out of the county town. The number of zombies in the county town was significantly lower than that in the small town they had passed earlier. 𝂃 did not drive at full speed today. Instead, he controlled the speed at around 60 km/h, staying ahead of others, but not by much just in case. The survival game setting after each round the number of passenger slots increases. This game seems to encourage multi-person survival intentionally or not. 𝂃 recalled the game announcement. Increasing the number of passengers can indeed speed up the efficiency of material collection. If one person per car required 2 sets of materials for upgrades, then 2 people per car only need 1 set. Whether in terms of materials or combat power, this is better than going solo. 𝂃 thought more and felt that his guess was correct. Also at the beginning, a full 100 vans gathered together. Isn't this also a team survival? 𝂃 narrowed his eyes. The Destiny Path was the key to this game. If he could recruit other Destiny Path Awakeners, it would greatly enhance the convoy. Wait, the system mentioned that a comprehensive potential score of no less than 90 points might indicate those who have the chance to become Destiny Path Awakeners. 𝂃 thought more and felt it was very likely. Today the weather was clear, the sun was blazing with temperatures reaching nearly 40 degrees Celsius. After driving for 4 hours on an endless highway, 𝂃 finally saw a small village nestled beside the road ahead. Something's wrong, 𝂃 looked ahead with a terrified expression. Without 𝂃's reminder, 𝂃 also noticed the bus without license plates parked on the road ahead in the village, almost entirely covered in flesh and filth. Like a tumor, it looked extremely nauseating. Countless arms extended from the bus, densely packed. On the roof, by the windows, at the front and rear, even underneath, all were ashen arms. What kind of monster is this? 𝂃 frowned slightly. The bus was now parked on the roadside next to the village, and no one knew if it would be dangerous to drive. 𝂃, do you think this could be some kind of special zombie? 𝂃 was shocked and proposed her guess. A zombie fused with machinery. Even in movies, there's no such monster. 𝂃, unsure whether it would attack, immediately slowed down. They were only a few hundred meters ahead of the following cars. As they slowed down, soon other vehicles caught up and also saw the arm-covered bus. 𝂃, damn, why did the cars ahead stop? Myvan almost rear-ended them. Lou ran, there's something ahead. Look, the arm bus. 𝂃, holy crap, what is that? It gives me the creeps. Should we go through or just stay here wasting time? Almost all vans stopped 100 meters away from the arm bus. No one was foolish enough to take the first risk, afraid of being attacked if they passed by. Everyone was waiting for a brave soul or a scapegoat. 𝂃, damn it, you cowards, if you don't dare, go move aside and let me do it. Since someone offered to be the first, nobody refused. They made way for the reckless man to try. 𝂃 cursed. He had scavenged for supplies last night and this morning, but had bad luck. He only found some basic materials and no food. Hungry for nearly a day and night, he was furious and just wanted to search for supplies quickly. This was a village, and most rural households had stored grain. As for the bus, it was parked aside. The road was wide enough. Just keep a distance right. 𝂃 accelerated, and his van roared past on the right, since the arm bus was on the left. Everyone hoped 𝂃 would pass safely, as they also needed to get through. 𝂃 felt the same. He was in no hurry now. He had food for a few days, and the water purifier was slowly producing water. If danger came like a zombie horde, he didn't need to outrun them, just others. They watched 𝂃's van speed forward. 𝂃 gripped the wheel, nervous. The arm bus looked eerie. The road is wide enough. Even if the arm bus causes trouble, I can escape. Those idiots can wait to die. 𝂃 cursed and floored the accelerator to rush. At this moment, no one wished 𝂃 success more than himself and the convoy behind. His van quickly reached 60 km/h, still about 100 meters from the arm bus, and charged past on the right. Yeah, no attack. The arm bus didn't hit me. As 𝂃's van passed the intersection, his triumphant smile froze as the regional channel warned him to, Lu Kai, 𝂃, run. The arm bus is chasing you. Lu Yunjing, 𝂃 is done for. The arm bus is fast. 𝂃 glanced in the rearview mirror and broke into a cold sweat. The arm bus had thousands of ashen arms growing from its chassis, walking like legs, while arms on the window's hood and roof were also moving. Worst of all, the arm bus was faster than his old van. In less than 30 seconds, it would catch him. 𝂃, damn it. Someone help me. If I die, you won't have it easy either. Give me materials to upgrade my tires. Bro, you need to find a way out. We don't have materials either. We need to upgrade our own vehicles. 𝂃 pressed the accelerator to the floor, but his speed didn't increase. In the rearview mirror, the arm bus had caught up. No, I don't want to die. 𝂃 shuddered as the arm bus drew parallel. Arms from one side grabbed his van, and system warnings of decreasing durability kept sounding. 𝂃 hurriedly used his limited materials to repair, but there was no way to stop the arm attacks. With his supplies running out, it was only a matter of time before his van's durability hit zero. Thinking of being caught by those countless arms, he broke into a cold sweat. He regretted being the first to rush. The van was controlled by the arm bus, its speed dropping until it came to a halt. Fong Tai tried pushing the passenger door to escape, but it wouldn't budge. Through the window, he saw arms outside. So they can extend. Warning: door durability at 0. Ashen arms broke through the door and reached into the cabin. No, don't grab me. Fong Tai, staring at the dense long arms, scrambled toward the back seats. One arm grabbed his ankle, then another caught his other foot, followed by more arms covering his hands, mouth, head, and every part of his body. Fong Tai was immobilized, his eyes filled with sheer terror. As an arm pried open his mouth and reached into his heart, the last glimmer of light in his eyes, the arms dragged Fong Tai's body like a skewer of meat into the bus. Splat! Bright red blood stained the bus windows. Only a pair of hands remained. The other arms slowly merged into the bus, adding 2 more arms to its collection. Su Changqing pondered. Though it was distant and unclear, he had seen the bus arms extend to attack Fong Tai's, then pull him out and devour him. Fong Tai died without any resistance. Strange arm bus. Is it a mutated product of a zombie fusing with a bus? We're only on the 2nd day of survival. There's no way to kill such a powerful arm bus. Su Shui thought, her expression grim. Their van was only slightly faster than Fong Tai's, so they couldn't outrun the arm bus either. Is the only way to sacrifice lives. Escape while it attacks another vehicle? Su Changqing's eyes flickered. If that were the case, it would be fine, but he feared it wasn't. The area channel was engulfed in silence. The lively discussions just moments ago had come to a halt as everyone froze in place. The fate of Fong Tai could very well be their own. After the armed bus engulfed Fong Tai, it came to a halt on the right side of the road. Lu Kai asked, "How do we get past it? Does anyone have any ideas?" Ultimately, Lu Kai was the first to speak up. "Li Xiaowei remarked, aren't you the one who claims to have read numerous survival novels? When faced with such a situation, don't you know what to do?" Lu Kai retorted, "Shut up. I'm not the protagonist of a novel, how would I know?" His mind was blank, the armed bus looking almost like a living creature. Zhang Dehui urged, "Everyone, the convoy is blocked by the armed bus. Let's brainstorm together. If anyone has suggestions or ideas, please share. Don't forget there's a horde of zombies chasing us. They will catch up in 2 hours, and if we don't move within 2 hours, we will all perish." Su Shui interjected, "Has anyone considered that this round of survival game involves a zombie frenzy? I believe the armed bus might be a special type of zombie." Under Su Changqing's signal, Su Shui spoke up, insisting that the armed bus needed to be dealt with. Lu Kai laughed, "Are you kidding me? A bus is a zombie." Su Shui snapped, "Shut up, you clueless fool. Just stay out of this if you don't understand." Zhang Dehui added, "If it's a zombie, that makes things easier. Zombies need to feed, and while it's feeding, we can make our escape." Li Xiaowei questioned, "Are you suggesting we use someone as bait?" Zhang Dehui countered, "Why don't we all set off together and rely on our own skills?" Everyone fell silent, contemplating the feasibility of this plan. It felt like a lottery, but this time it wasn't about who was lucky, but rather who was unlucky. The unlucky ones would feed the zombies, while the fortunate ones would escape unscathed. Su Changqing felt a flicker of hope. This plan seemed plausible, but the biggest issue was if the armed bus continued to pursue the convoy. In the end, everyone might perish at the hands of the armed bus. Of course, it was also possible that the armed bus would give up on chasing the convoy. Su Changqing's vehicle was the fastest, and no one could outpace him in terms of speed. This seemingly unorthodox method eventually gained unanimous agreement among the group, but what about confronting the armed bus hidden? Hardly anyone had a plan. First of all, only a few had managed to gather weapons, and secondly, the armed bus did not seem like something that could be easily killed. Its extending arms dispelled any thoughts of engaging in close combat. In the end, the area channel was filled with agreement to set off together, leaving their fates to chance. Whoever was caught by the armed bus would have to accept their destiny. Su Changqing started the old van, positioning himself in the middle of the convoy. The armed bus was too extraordinary for them, and they had little way to deal with it. The van's engine roared, and everyone almost simultaneously started their engines, flooring the gas pedal as the convoy surged forward. As they looked at the armed bus parked by the roadside, everyone silently prayed, hoping it wouldn't pursue them. Su Shui was visibly tense. The mere appearance of the armed bus was chilling, and being caught would surely lead to a tragic end. Su Changqing controlled the speed, ensuring that he wouldn't be at the front before surpassing the armed bus to avoid becoming its target. All their hearts felt as if they were tightly gripped. Becoming a target of attack was a certain death sentence. Zhang Dehui's old van was at the front, and when his vehicle surpassed the armed bus, which had been still, suddenly moved. However, as one vehicle after another surpassed the armed bus, it seemed to have been provoked. The previously motionless arms around the vehicle began to thrash wildly, as if trying to grasp something. Su Changqing's vehicle was sandwiched in the middle of the convoy, neither leading the way nor lagging behind. He thought, "I'm in the middle of the convoy, surely I can't be the target." Watching the armed bus rev up, Su Changqing remained vigilant. If he truly became the target, he would immediately accelerate. "Su Changqing, this is bad. Look, that armed bus seems to be coming for us." Su Shui swallowed hard, her voice trembling. Su Changqing glanced through the passenger window and saw the armed bus seemingly fixated on his van heading straight. With so many people, why is it targeting me? Su Changqing cursed, internally flooring the gas pedal, the speed soaring to 70 km/h as he began to gradually overtake others. He occasionally glanced back at the armed bus, hoping it wouldn't have him in its sights. The old van accelerated, surpassing one vehicle after another until he was in the lead. Su Changqing's expression darkened. The armed bus was not pursuing any other vans, but was closing in on him. Gritting his teeth, Su Changqing felt as if the armed bus had its sights set on him. As he realized it was about to catch up, he yelled, "Su Shui, take the wheel. Keep it straight and go full speed." "No problem." Su Shui suppressed her fear and swiftly took Su Changqing's place of flooring the gas pedal without needing to adjust the steering wheel. Su Changqing squeezed into the back seat, peering through the rear window. The armed bus was approaching at a visible speed. If they didn't come up with a plan soon, he and Su Shui would soon share Feng Tai's fate. "Since you've come looking for death, then I shall grant it to you." Su Changqing opened the system's storage space and took out a 50-liter barrel of gasoline. "With the armed bus mostly made of flesh, I have 30 liters of gasoline. I refuse to believe I can't burn you to death." Su Changqing emptied the supplies from the storage space onto the back seat and set aside 20 liters of gasoline to temporarily store back into the space. Not knowing how far the next collection point was, he had to save some gasoline. He hadn't wanted to waste it, but the armed bus was simply too much. Opening the right side door of the van, Su Changqing lifted the gasoline barrel, watching the armed bus draw closer to the van. The densely waving arms of the armed bus sent shivers down his spine as the distance between them shrank to about 10 meters. Gritting his teeth, Su Changqing threw the 30 liters of gasoline with all his might toward the armed bus. As he expected, the densely packed arms of the bus caught the gasoline barrel, preparing to consume it. Su Changqing quickly retrieved the M20 pistol from the storage space, disengaging the safety, loading a bullet, and aiming at the gasoline barrel before pulling the trigger with force. The sound of gunfire echoed. Bang! Bang! Su Changqing's first shot went astray, hitting an arm instead. It was his first time using a gun, so missing was expected. He quickly pulled the trigger again. This time, he hit the gasoline barrel that was halfway swallowed by the armed bus. Boom! A tremendous explosion erupted, followed by flames soaring high. The oil drum exploded violently, and the terrifying shockwave pushed Su Changqing's dilapidated van several meters forward. Half of the gasoline spilled outside, while the other half soaked into the armed bus, igniting countless arms, some of which were blown off, and the horrific flames instantly engulfed the entire armed bus. A bizarre, sharp, and mournful sound emanated from within the armed bus, assaulting everyone's eardrums. Everyone covered their ears and took advantage of the brief moment while the armed bus was ignited to speed ahead. Durability of the dilapidated van 5. Durability of the dilapidated van 1. Durability of the dilapidated van 1. Su Changqing's expression darkened as the van's durability continued to decrease. If they didn't stop to check, it wouldn't be long before the durability was completely depleted. Su Shui stopped the car. Hearing Su Changqing's words, Su Shui was taken aback. By this time, the cars behind them had already sped past, leaving them behind. The speed of the armed bus had drastically decreased after being ignited, and now it had even come to a halt on the road. Su Shui didn't ask why and immediately slammed on the brakes. There had to be a reason why Su Changqing wanted her to stop. Su Changqing opened the car door, jumped out, and circled the van. At the rear, he discovered an arm was continuously banging against the car body, having already created a small hole. Was that the arm that flew over from the explosion? Su Changqing grasped his military machete and severed the arm at the wrist. Black blood gushed forth, and to his surprise, the only remaining hand was still alive. A grave expression crossed Su Changqing's face as he pried open the fingers of the hand with his machete. The hand fell to the ground, and the fingers quickly scuttled towards Su Changqing like legs. Thud! Su Changqing thrust his machete down, piercing through the back of the hand into the ground, but the hand continued to struggle. How does this thing have such strong... Not willing to be foolish, Su Changqing fiercely slashed the machete, cutting the hand in half. The hand finally ceased all movement. Su Changqing discovered that the hand contained small organs, even internal organs. Could it be that each arm on the armed bus is like this? A chilling thought struck him. Those countless arms were actually independent entities. If they could freely leave the armed bus to attack, with the agility of the arms, escaping would be uncertain for even him. Dealing with a few or even dozens would be manageable, but what about hundreds or thousands of hands? He certainly didn't have the strength for that at the moment. He checked the van's remaining durability, and there were only 26 points left. Turning back to look at the armed bus engulfed in flames, Su Changqing's eyes flickered. Su Changqing, aren't we leaving? They've already vanished from sight. Su Shui poked her head out of the driver's window. The burning armed bus sent chills down her spine as countless flailing arms resembled many people seeking help amidst the flames. Not yet, let's wait a bit longer. Su Changqing's gaze flickered. To deal with the armed bus, he had expended 30 liters of gasoline. A significant loss. He couldn't possibly just leave like this. The armed bus is clearly not an ordinary zombie, it belongs to an elite level. If I can kill it, who knows what good things might drop. Su Changqing silently observed the armed bus burn. A series of piercing screams erupted from the armed bus, lasting nearly half an hour before the flames gradually subsided. Countless arms were turned to ashes in the sea of flames, and the wailing never ceased, but now only 2 or 3 voices remained. This thing is truly hard to kill. Su Changqing felt a wave of fear. This level of zombie burned for half an hour without dying. If he hadn't collected gasoline, he wouldn't have a clue about how to kill it with his current means. Whether using cold weapons or handguns, striking the bus would probably feel like a mere tickle. Ding. You have killed a special zombie flesh bus zombie and gained 100 survival coins. How much? Su Changqing was taken aback and immediately opened the system interface, which displayed 100. Killing one zombie usually only yielded 1 survival coin, so the flesh bus zombie was equivalent to 100 zombies. Although he still didn't know the purpose of the survival coins given the difficulty of obtaining them, and that they only dropped from killing zombies, their value was certainly not low. Su Changqing waited another 10 minutes or so before the large fire within the flesh bus was completely extinguished and the strange screams ceased. The entire flesh bus was left as nothing but a charred shell. Covering his mouth and nose, he stepped closer. The air was filled with a foul odor. As he reached the front of the bus, Su Changqing noticed a small pile of items beside the ashes of the flesh bus. It exploded. This is a big haul. Su Changqing squatted down excitedly and collected the spoils that had burst forth from the ground. First, there was a large pile of basic materials, plenty of metal, rubber, and fibers. Most importantly among this pile, he spotted a hint of green, an immediate monster telescope description, a peculiar item of green quality capable of ignoring any obstruction to see monsters within a 20-meter range. Quality ranges from low to high: white, green, blue, purple, gold, red. Su Changqing quickly realized that this was akin to the X-ray vision in games. However, this monster telescope could only peer at monsters within a 20-meter radius. Still, this was quite an advantage. After all, what is the greatest fear when searching for supplies? The greatest fear is a zombie suddenly jumping out from the side. But with this peculiar item, before searching for supplies, he could take a quick look. Within 20 meters, no monster could escape detection. The actual effectiveness still needed testing, and it was uncertain if it could see more powerful monsters. Excited, Su Changqing thought that this peculiar item was already worth a lot. The rest were basic materials. Su Changqing immediately collected everything and tossed it into the trunk of the dilapidated van, counting and finding the total reached an astonishing number. Metal X85, glass X18, rubber X34, fiber X8, spring X1, tissue X1, heatsink X2, bulb X1, survival coins X104. Now the materials were fully sufficient for upgrading the van. Seeing Su Changqing's excited expression, Su Shui knew something good must have happened, but didn't rush to ask. Su Changqing opened the door to the driver's seat. Go back to your co-pilot seat. Su Shui obediently returned. She initially thought she would meet the same fate as Fong Tai, being consumed by the bus, but unexpectedly, not only had Su Changqing killed the armed bus, but he had also obtained a lot of good items. Su Changqing poured all the gasoline from his storage space into the tank of the dilapidated van. After driving for several hours, the tank was nearly empty, and now it was perfectly filled. LV0 dilapidated car body, LV1 brand new car body, required materials metal X80, rubber X20. Upgrade. Su Changqing directly clicked to confirm the upgrade. The dilapidated van trembled slightly, its once battered and near-scrap body transformed into a pristine factory-fresh appearance. You upgraded the car body. Su Shui was stunned, realizing the body had become brand new, its exterior completely changed, exuding a full sense of security. After all, the car body required the most metal, a full 80 pieces, and Su Changqing had actually gathered enough. If she had to upgrade on her own, she doubted she could collect so many materials even in 7 days. While taking down that flesh bus this time yielded quite a few materials, just enough to upgrade the car body. Su Changqing nodded and opened the upgraded car body panel. LV1 brand new car body, durability 60, a significantly improved sturdiness, can withstand ordinary zombie attacks. Seeing the information on the upgraded car body, Su Changqing felt greatly relieved. Previously, with the dilapidated body, a zombie scratch would cost 1 durability point. If he got trapped in a zombie horde and surrounded, it wouldn't be long before he perished. But now it was different. Can withstand ordinary zombie attacks meant that ordinary zombies couldn't even damage the car body. They could scratch it all day without causing. The sense of security was maxed out. Su Changqing directly shared the upgraded car body information panel with Su Shui. Su Shui received it, clicked to view, and her mouth fell open wide enough to fit a fist. Great. We won't die after all. Su Shui was so excited she was almost incoherent, barely stopping herself from jumping for joy. Not necessarily. If we encounter an even more powerful special zombie like today's, we'll still be done for. Su Changqing poured cold water on her. Su Shue's smile froze, and she looked at him reproachfully. Can't you let me be happy for a moment? Haha, don't worry. You and I are in the same boat now. If I die, you won't escape either. Conversely, if I'm fine, you should be safe too. Su Changqing comforted her. Should I? Su Shue looked at him doubtfully. Su Changqing. Yeah, so you'd better be prepared to die at any time. Su Changqing, look. They found a gas station in the village. Su Shue suddenly became excited. Su Changqing immediately opened the regional channel and saw everyone discussing the gas station. He scrolled through the chat history and quickly figured out what had happened. It turned out that while Su Changqing was entangled with the armed bus, everyone else had rushed ahead and reached the village. Someone noticed that neither Su Changqing nor the bus had followed, speculating they might have destroyed each other. Meanwhile, due to the need for materials, food, and fuel, they had to search. If they couldn't find more gasoline, many people's vehicles would be completely stranded here. Those at the front discovered a gas station at the village center by the roadside labeled Survival Gas Station. Most importantly, there were rules for obtaining gasoline. Let's go check it out too. Su Changqing started the van and floored the accelerator. The van roared forward. 10 minutes later, they arrived at the village. Su Changqing had no intention of stopping and drove straight ahead. At the village center by the roadside, a cluster of vans were parked. A crowd gathered in front of the gas station. Hearing the sound of an approaching vehicle, they all turned around, and then everyone was stunned. Holy crap, who's this big shot? A brand new van. Could it be a player from another convoy? Am I seeing things? A new van? The crowd buzzed with speculation, craning their necks to see who the newcomer was. Zhang Dehui pushed his way to the front. He wanted to get on good terms with such a big shot. Anyone thriving in this survival world must be exceptional. Under everyone's gaze, the door opened, and a figure stepped out, someone no one expected. It's Su Changqing. How is that possible? Wasn't he swallowed by the armed bus? No, Su Changqing is fine. Does that mean he took down the armed bus? He must have upgraded his car body. That armed bus must have dropped a ton of materials. How about we jump him together? We can all get a share. Idiot, have you forgotten Su Changqing has a pistol? Shit, I almost forgot about that. Su Changqing looked at the crowd. Their eyes were filled with greed, fear, flattery, everything imaginable. Excuse me, everyone, please make way. Su Changqing closed the door, smiled politely, and led Su Shue toward the survival gas station. Su Changqing, was that armed bus killed by you? Li Xiaowei brushed her hair behind her ear and smiled at Su Changqing. If you want to know, it's simple. Go back and check for yourself. Although Li Xiaowei was a classmate, everyone was now in competition. Li Xiaowei's expression didn't change. She took the initiative to apologize. Su Changqing, I'm sorry, that was presumptuous of me. She was still hoping to latch onto Su Changqing. Even though he hadn't answered, the upgrade of his van's body was the best answer. For a moment, everyone around had mixed feelings as they watched Su Changqing's retreating figure. Su Changqing led Su Shue into the gas station, which was different from ordinary ones. It was more like a large pavilion, but with a large fuel tank underneath. Above it were two ways to obtain gasoline. Survival Gas Station. A gas station exclusively for players, giving those with bad luck a chance to survive. Exchange Rule 1. Use basic materials to exchange for gasoline. 1 basic material, 10 liters of gasoline. Exchange Rule 2. 1 survival point can be exchanged for 100 liters of gasoline. Su Shue frowned. The rules seemed to be for the player's benefit, but in reality they weren't. Everyone could only collect a limited amount of food, water, and materials each day, and 35 liters of gasoline would only last about 10 hours. Given the zombie horde's movement speed, players had to drive at least 6 hours a day to avoid being caught, leaving only 6 hours for gathering supplies. The purpose of gathering supplies was to upgrade vehicles and increase survival chances. Materials were already scarce daily, and now having to spend them on gasoline would drastically slow down upgrade progress. But if they didn't exchange for gasoline, were they supposed to wait for death? Yet if they did exchange, how could they upgrade? Some people even had to use materials to exchange for food. Su Shue pondered. If someone was extremely unlucky and didn't find food, water, or gasoline, how could they survive alone? Maybe they'd be lucky enough to have enough materials to exchange, but chances were their vehicle wouldn't have a single upgrade after 7 days. And without upgrading the vehicle's parts, the defense of a dilapidated van was extremely dangerous. Don't forget, some people's vans broke down right from the start. 1 survival coin can purchase 100 liters of gasoline, equivalent in value to 10 basic materials. Su Changqing was slightly surprised that the survival coin held such high worth. However, obtaining survival coins was no easy feat. One had to kill zombies, and with so few people possessing weapons, the number of survival coins could not be abundant. This game is such a scam. Not only is the drop rate pitiful, but it also reclaims the materials we painstakingly scavenge. A man ground his teeth and give it a rest. A gas station is better than nothing. If we don't exchange for gas, our van won't move. Unless you want to feed the zombies. Someone deemed the price reasonable. Su Changqing exchanged one survival coin for 100 liters of gasoline. After the deduction, 2 large 50-liter barrels were dispensed from an opening much like a vending machine. Let's go. Su Changqing called Su Shuai back to the van, drawing wide-eyed stares from the crowd. A full 100 liters of gasoline. If they robbed him, they wouldn't have to worry about fuel for 3 days. Yet no one dared to make a move until Su Changqing returned to the van. Su Shuai, be wary of these people in the future, he said, placing the 2 barrels in the trunk as a reminder. Don't worry, I understand. Su Shuai nodded solemnly. Once driven mad by hunger, people would stop at nothing. At the survival gas station, the crowd remained hot. Brothers, how about we smash the gas station and take all the gas we want? Someone suggested, reluctant to part with their hard-earned materials. If I'm not mistaken, places like this survival gas station should be safe zones. We players can't damage them at all. Feel free to try if you don't believe me, Lu Kai voiced his speculation. Bang! A man kicked it with all his might, but the station remained unmoved, his foot throbbing in pain. This damn thing even rebounds. Hurts like Zhang Dihui's expression darkened. The survival game's approach, seemingly offering a lifeline, was actually a slow death. And this was only the first round. Survival was already this harsh, and subsequent rounds would surely be even more grueling. His eyes darted as an idea struck. If surviving alone was tough, he could unite others. The more he pondered, the more feasible it seemed. A smile curling on his lips, he stepped forward. Everyone, I'm Zhang Dihui. We've all been thrust into this survival game. I believe we must band together to weather this storm. I plan to form a mutual aid society where we help one another survive this world. Who wants to join? As Zhang Dihui finished, many eyes lit up. These were the unlucky ones, those too afraid to scavenge for food and materials, some with not a single material to their. Sounds nice, but everyone's desperate for food, water, and gas. How do you plan to bridge that huge gap? Lu Kai shook his head. He saw through Zhang Dihui's ambition to lead the convoy. He didn't care who led as long as problems were solved. No one would follow a parasite. Exactly. I've been starving for nearly a day and night. Give me food now, and he'll join your so-called mutual aid team. Li Xiaowei chimed in. That's right. Feed me, and he'll follow you. The chorus grew louder among the crowd. Zhang Dihui raised a finger to his lips. I hear all your concerns. We all face the same predicament, but it's not insurmountable. Meeting everyone's expectant gazes, he declared, the Mutual Aid Society's principles are fairness, justice, mutual benefit, and facing difficulties together to survive. Lu Kai pressed, so how do we solve the food problem? Zhang Dihui feigned deafness and continued, as long as the society has even a morsel of food, it will be shared equally among all members. Who knows if the ones in charge of food will sneak bites, someone doubted. Exactly, we're afraid we'll starve while you're greasy-lipped. Zhang Dihui, facing a barrage of skepticism, gestured for calm. Everyone please settle down. To each their own. Though I was never a Fortune 500 CEO, I treated my employees fairly. So those willing to trust me are welcome to join the Mutual Aid Society. As for the doubters, feel free to ignore me, Zhang Dihui said with a steely tone. I'm in. Any requirements? As soon as Zhang Dihui finished, someone raised a hand to join. It was Lu Kai. Welcome. No requirements. Anyone willing is welcome. Zhang Dihui beamed. The one who raised his hand was that Lu Kai fellow. Seeing Lu Kai join, Li Xiaowei quickly raised her hand too. Count me in. She had initially considered latching on as Su Changqing, but the school beauty, Su Shuai, was already in his car, and each person had only one passenger seat. She had missed her chance. With nothing to her name, not even enough materials to trade for gas, she figured she might as well huddle with the group for warmth. Lu Kai shared the same sentiment. Since someone was stepping up ahead, give it a shot. With the two taking the lead, many soon clamored to join. Zhang Dihui hadn't expected that even before his planted chills could act, someone had already taken the initiative. The tide had turned. In just over 10 minutes, his newly formed Mutual Aid Society boasted 35 members, nearly half the crowd. Lu Kai asked, President, how do we solve the food problem? Zhang Dihui's head throbbed. It was this guy again. Meanwhile, the others watched with eager anticipation. Let's move aside and hold a brief meeting. Zhang Dihui led the 35 members away from the gas station. Some curious onlookers followed while others scoffed. On an open field, Zhang Dihui had all members at him as a friend. It's my honor that you all trust me. To cut to the chase, I assume everyone here is short on food, water, or gas. Otherwise, you wouldn't have joined, Zhang Dihui said. No need to be embarrassed. We all want to survive, and there's only one way, he declared solemnly. What is it? All eyes fixed on him. Optimize resource utilization, Zhang Dihui replied, looking around at the group. The crowd responded with confused looks. Have you ever wondered why everyone has a passenger slot? Zhang Dihui's voice dropped. It's the survival game giving us a chance to live. We're lacking everything now, but if two people share one vehicle and dismantle the other into materials, that's enough to tide us over, Zhang Dihui explained. Not only that, but two people scavenging materials and upgrading a single van gives us a better chance of survival. If Su Changqing were here, he would have been astonished that Zhang Dihui's idea mirrored his own. The Mutual Aid Association was established under Zhang Dehui's initiative, and after half an hour of planning it began to take its initial shape. First, reduce unnecessary consumption, conserve energy, and increase efficiency. 2 people share one vehicle, while the other dilapidated van is dismantled into resources to exchange for the currently needed food, water, and gasoline. An unupgraded old van can be dismantled into metal x tin, glass x4, plastic x3, rubber x4, enough materials to exchange for sufficient gasoline and some food if others are willing to sell. As for who serves as driver or passenger, there is no compulsion. Our acquaintances can share a vehicle together. Second, internal conflict among Mutual Aid Association members is forbidden and violators will be expelled. Su Chongqing saw the Mutual Aid Association rules posted by Zhang Dehui in the regional chat channel and shook his head with a faint smile. When danger is minimal, this kind of huddling together for warmth is indeed a good strategy, but if a major threat arises and cannot be resolved, such a fragile organization will shatter. Su Chongqing, do you think this Mutual Aid Association can really succeed? Su Shui gripped a steel pipe and walked cautiously ahead, while Su Chongqing, as before, covered her from behind. With 2 hours before the zombies caught up, they could use this time to scavenge supplies in the village, and neither was willing to waste it. Hard to say. What, you want to join them? I can let you go. Su Chongqing took out the monster telescope to observe the house ahead. No, don't even think about driving me away. Su Shui quickly shook her head. Only a fool would abandon such a strong ally. Given Su Chongqing's current vehicle, as long as they didn't encounter a powerful zombie, they would likely be safe. She murmured to herself. Right now Su Chongqing and I are just ordinary classmates. One day he might kick me out. No, I need to get closer to him, so he won't have the heart to let me go. This house has no zombies, but we can't let our guard down. Su Chongqing, holding a military machete, passed Su Shui and pushed open the door of the house. Split up. You search the first floor, 𝓃 take the second. Su Chongqing ran upstairs and found 3 sweet potatoes lying on the living room floor. Lucky start, food right away. Su Chongqing picked up the 3 sweet potatoes, totaling about 500 grams. Sweet potatoes can be eaten raw, cooked, or roasted, and are rich in nutrients. One can sustain you for a day. He stored them in his inventory and pushed open a bedroom door, discovering a box of chocolate on an abandoned bedboard. Chocolate. This is high-calorie, high-energy. Su Chongqing excitedly picked up the chocolate and stored it. Strange, the drop rate seems high today, he muttered, heading to another room. On the floor lay a brand new induction cooker. Su Chongqing picked it up and put it into his inventory. 2 rooms left. Could there be more? He immediately entered the other 2 rooms, but found nothing. Su Chongqing found this reasonable. If every room yielded loot, the abundance would be overwhelming. Now food was rarer and more valuable than basic materials. Both sweet potatoes and chocolate were hard currency. The only pity was having an induction cooker without a pot or inverter, so cooking in the vehicle would have to wait. He could ask Su Shui to watch the trading market and notify him immediately if any blueprints appeared. Su Chongqing went downstairs and saw Su Shui. Any materials? 1 metal. Su Shui took out the metal and handed it to Su Chongqing. Too bad these bedboards and cabinets can't be dismantled. If they could, everyone would have a pile of wood and be able to afford gasoline freely. Su Chongqing was unsurprised. Perhaps only manufactured items like vehicles and their components could be dismantled. While Su Chongqing was active, others also sprang into action. They discovered the village had no zombies, making it a very safe scavenging spot. Moreover, the village was small with only about 300 households, so each person could search a few. Even the Mutual Aid Association eventually joined the search. In less than an hour, the entire area had been scoured. When Su Chongqing finally returned to his vehicle, he noticed that a dozen vans were missing, dismantled into materials, and many vehicles had upgraded tires. Su Chongqing and Su Shui later searched 3 more houses. The day's village haul totaled wood x5, metal x4, plastic x3, circuit board x1, cured meat 500 gx1. All the food was found by Su Chongqing, leaving Su Shui speechless with shock. His luck seemed almost divine. Everyone seemed to have an unspoken agreement. Before driving off, they would repeatedly post in the regional channel, "The convoy is about to depart." In truth, everyone realized that huddling together might not provide warmth, but it could increase survival chances. When encountering zombies, others could draw their attention. As for who lived or died, it all came down to luck and skill. Su Chongqing checked the time, 3 p.m., with only 3 hours until dark. He started the van, stepped on the accelerator, and followed the convoy, positioning himself in the middle. Behind him, several van drivers stared at Su Chongqing's brand new van body, gritting their teeth in envy. Why does he get to upgrade his body? That's a full 80 metal and 20 rubber, damn rich. Boss, how about we find a chance to snatch that van? Zhang Tao's eyes were fixed on Su Chongqing's van ahead. Idiot, have you forgotten? He has a pistol. If you want to die, don't drag me into it. Zhang Bo replied immediately via private message. Zhang Tao was unconvinced. Boss, you're too timid. He has a gun, but he needs a chance to use it. If we get close and stab him in the back, he's done for, even with a cannon. What do you think, third brother? Jiang Hai scratched his head. I think second brother has a point. See, boss. Even third brother agrees. If you give the go-ahead, we three can pull this off. Not only will we inherit the materials from �13's van, but we can also dismantle his vehicle. And that woman in his car. You've seen her so tender. Just imagine. Jiang Tao chuckled, already fantasizing about the success. But if we fail, we could die. Jiang Boss' face darkened. Jiang Tao urged, boss. What's the difference between now and death? We're just surviving a few more days. The survival game never said we'd be sent back after 7 days. Since we're doomed, either way, let's take a gamble. If we win, we strike it rich. If we lose, we're put out of our misery. I'm certain at least 90% of this convoy will die. Jiang Hai agreed. Big brother, second brother is right. It's just a difference between dying sooner or later. If we can actually kill 𝂃 and take his car, we shouldn't have to be afraid of zombies. Jiang Bo gritted his teeth. Since both of you say so, if I still refuse, I'm afraid you'll resent me. Fine, the 3 of US brothers will pull off this job tonight. The 3 of them quietly discussed tonight's plan. The convoy had been traveling at maximum speed. Yesterday, they were lucky to encounter supply points at night, but today, until 180, the entire convoy had not come across any villages or cities. In the regional channel, everyone was discussing whether to continue moving forward or stop on the road and wait until dawn to proceed. They even held a vote: press 1 to support moving forward, press 2 to support stopping. In the end, the votes for moving forward outnumbered those for stopping, and the convoy continued. The survival world had no moon, only scattered starlight like fire. 5 hours later, it was 11 p.m. Everyone's expression turned grim because along the way they had not encountered a single supply point. A few zombies wandering on the highway were encountered and were run over by the convoy. Zhang Dehui spoke in the regional channel. Good thing we kept moving forward, though otherwise most of tomorrow we probably wouldn't find any supply points. Now that we've driven for 5 hours at night, it means during the day we should encounter at least one supply point. Most importantly, by traveling at night, we've left far behind the zombie horde chasing us. Even if we stop for a day at a supply point tomorrow, we won't have to worry about being caught up by the horde. Lu Kai said the leader is wise. The convoy stopped, and some people started shouting, offering for materials for 1 portion of food and water. Wang Renjia, selling a frying pan, wanted 2 materials. Zhen Ziyuan, are you crazy? We don't even have food, what use is a frying pan? Idiot. Wang Renjia, you don't have it, but that doesn't mean others don't. One of a kind, only 2 random materials. Already listed in the trading market. 𝂃 saw this, and immediately opened the system, entered the trading market, and found the frying pan listed by Wang Renjia. 2 materials not expensive. 𝂃 bought the frying pan with 2 rubber pieces. The transaction completed, and a brand new frying pan appeared in his hand. Frying pan description: an ordinary cooking utensil proficient in steaming, frying, deep frying, and boiling. Once I build an inverter later, I can cook every day. 𝂃 put the frying pan in the trunk. Without an inverter, this thing couldn't be used, yet it would probably have to wait. He sat back in the driver's seat. Although the air conditioning was always on now with no bath for 2 days, both of them had a strong smell of sweat mixed with the engine oil smell of the dilapidated van. Opening the vehicle information panel, 𝂃 checked. Currently, he had upgraded tires, water purifier, vehicle toolbox body. The upgrade condition for the dilapidated van was to upgrade 5 parts. He had already upgraded 4, meaning only 1 more was needed to upgrade the vehicle model. LV0 dilapidated engine, LV1 powerful engine. Upgrade cost: metal X10, bearing X4, rubber X5, a leather X10, spark plug X1 can be replaced with 3 survival points. The materials needed for the engine upgrade were quite varied. Bearings were rare, especially spark plugs. None were available in the trading market. He currently had only 1 survival point left, but after midnight, he would have 3 and could upgrade the engine. The waiting time was long, and both of them were so hungry that their stomachs growled. Dong dong dong. Just as 𝂃 was waiting for the next day, a knock came. 𝂃 became alert. At this late hour, when other vans had turned off their lights and were resting, someone actually came to find him. If they wanted to find him, they could just private message him in the regional channel, right? 𝂃 rolled down the window, revealing a gap only enough for sound, and saw an unfamiliar face. What do you want? Boss, I'm Jiang Tao. Aren't you collecting blueprints? I have a blueprint over there, and I'd like to invite you to come and chat. Jiang Tao chuckled, and even sent 𝂃 a screenshot. 𝂃 opened the screenshot and got excited. It was actually an inverter blueprint. This was a great thing. If he could build it, he could eat hot meals every day. How do you want to trade? Seeing 𝂃 take the bait, Jiang Tao pretended to be troubled. To be honest, this blueprint was found by my brother. I tried to persuade him to sell it for other materials, but he absolutely refused. However, to actually craft it, the required materials are hard to gather. If you could help me persuade my brother, I could sell it to you a bit cheaper. 𝂃 thought for a moment and smiled slightly. Of course, no problem. First, he really wanted the inverter blueprint. Second, even if Jiang Tao intended to harm him, he would have to ask the gun in his hand if it agreed. He opened the door, got out, closed the car door, and told Su Shui to wait for him to return. Jiang Tao led the way feeling smug. I can't believe it was so easy to lure Su Changqing out. Su Changqing followed behind, one hand behind his back, holding the M20 pistol. The safety was off and the bullet was already chambered ready to fire at any moment. Passing one dilapidated van after another, they reached the very end where 3 vans were parked side by side. As they arrived, a person rushed out from one van towards Su Changqing. Without a moment's hesitation, Su Changqing pulled the trigger. Bang! Flame burst from the muzzle. The bullet left the chamber drilled into the charging man's head and blew open a bloody hole. The charging man's body stiffened mid-stride, then fell to the ground by inertia after being hit. Third brother. Jiang Tao shouted, never dreaming that Su Changqing would be so decisive, shooting as soon as he saw the man. Su Changqing, you killed my third brother. He'll fight you to the death. Jiang Tao turned around, aiming to seize the truth gun from Su Changqing's hand. You're asking for death. He'll grant your wish. Su Changqing pulled the trigger again. The two were only 5 meters apart. The bullet precisely hit Jiang Tao's head, spraying a cloud of blood mist. Jiang Tao and Jiang Hai both died with their eyes open. On the other side, Jiang Bo had just rushed halfway out when he saw both younger brothers killed. Jiang Bo trembled, his teeth chattering, and backed away repeatedly. Su Changqing, this was their plan. It has nothing to do with me. Don't kill me. Su Changqing didn't reply. He pointed the M20 at Jiang Bo and countered, I heard you have inverter blueprint. Yes, we found it in a village today. It's no use keeping it, we plan to sell it. Jiang Bo almost burst into tears. His 2 brothers both killed by Su Changqing. He would avenge this, but not now. Hand over the blueprint. Su Changqing raised his pistol slightly, the meaning clear, if not he would kill. At this moment, others had been alarmed by the sharp gunshots in the night and came out one after. They arrived at the source of the gunshots and saw Su Changqing pointing his M20 pistol at Jiang Bo. Jiang Bo gritted his teeth, retrieving the inverter blueprint from his storage ring. This item, if sold, could fetch at least 20 materials, and that was under the premise that most people lacked the ability to manufacture inverters. If demand were high, it might even be snapped up for 50 materials. Yet Jiang Bo dared not refuse. Su Changqing held the truth in his hands. Refusal meant death. He regretted ever agreeing to his 2 foolish brothers. Now, instead of ambushing their target, they had been turned upon and slain. Su Changqing glanced at the blueprint, a smirk curling at his lips. Remember to be a good person in your next life. Jiang Bo, drenched in cold sweat, stammered, didn't you say you'd spare me if I handed over the blueprint? Did I? I believe I only told you to hand it over. When did I mention letting you go? Su Changqing said calmly, pulling the trigger without hesitation. If Jiang Bo recalled the blueprint into his storage space, it would be lost. Bang! The bullet shot forth, burying itself in Jiang Bo's forehead and blooming into a crimson flower. Jiang Bo fell with reluctance, his final attempt to retract the inverter blueprint into his storage space arriving a moment too late. The crowd gathered, witnessing Su Changqing's lethal shot. Trembling with fear, someone stammered, Master. What happened? Nothing much. These 3 tried to lure me out for an ambush tonight, so I fed them bullets. Su Changqing strode swiftly to Jiang Bo's corpse, crouched down, and picked up the inverter blueprint. Inverter required materials. Inverter blueprint: X1 circuit board, X1 transistor, X1 a capacitor, X1 transformer, X1 metal, X5, or substitute, with 2 survival points. The materials for the inverter weren't easy to gather either. Su Changqing muttered to himself as he stowed the blueprint into his storage space, then surveyed the onlookers. So those 3 fools tried to attack the master. They deserve to die, someone muttered before slinking away, fearful of becoming the next target. Zhang Dehui, watching from the periphery, eyed the gun in Su Changqing's hand with deep wariness. I need to keep the Mutual Aid Society in check. We must never provoke Su Changqing. If you want to court death, don't drag me into it. Su Changqing didn't rush to leave. With the 3 dead, their minivans were now ownerless and could be dismantled. It was a pity that items stored in their storage spaces couldn't be looted upon death. They vanished entirely. That was precisely why he had forced Jiang Bo to produce the blueprint. He opened the trunks of the 3 minivans, finding them empty. These 3 had likely scavenged very little, keeping everything in their storage spaces. Before dismantling the 3 minivans, Su Changqing traded some materials with another survivor for an oil drum, collecting the gasoline from all 3 vehicles, a full 40 liters. Then came the dismantling. Successfully dismantled ownerless minivans, X3. You receive metal X30, glass X12, plastic X9, rubber X12. Over 60 materials in one go. Truly killing and dismantling vehicles was the fastest way. Su Changqing gathered the materials and tossed them into his storage space. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, he walked back to his own minivan. No one dared to move or speak up for the 3 men who had been shot. Su Changqing pulled open the door and climbed into his minivan, finally relaxing. Su Shui blinked at him. The regional chat is all abuzz about you killing 3 people. Su Changqing nodded and opened the regional chat. Discussions were rampant, with most agreeing that the three had brought it upon themselves, and that 𝂃 had done the convoy a favor by eliminating them. Though he had easily dispatched the trio, this incident made 𝂃 realize that even with the truth in his grasp, he had become a target for those desperate enough to risk. Yet thanks to those three, he had obtained an inverter blueprint. Fortune and misfortune intertwined. Along with dozens of basic materials, his vehicle upgrade speed had greatly accelerated. 𝂃, am hungry, Su said, gazing at him with wide, pitiful eyes. I'm hungry too, he replied, suddenly remembering the box of chocolate he had acquired today. Only 100 grams. He took it out, tore open the wrapper, broke off a piece, and tossed it into his mouth. The rich chocolate aroma filled the cabin as he chewed. Su's throat bobbed as she reached out. I. You what? You get nothing. How could 𝂃 give her chocolate? Letting her eat chicken tails was already generous. After finishing the chocolate, 𝂃 regained some energy. He lay down in the back seat, waiting for the stroke of midnight on the third day. Damn 𝂃, always bullying me, Su fumed, nearly in tears. I need to deepen my relationship with 𝂃 quickly, or he'll keep feeding me scraps. Recalling the chicken tail she had eaten that morning, Su felt a wave of nausea. How could she make 𝂃 value her more? Maybe only by becoming his girlfriend, she murmured. In the past, she would never have looked twice at someone like 𝂃. But the past 2 days had changed her mind. He was strong, handsome, and exuded a captivating charm, enough to make her begin to like him. 𝂃 waited, his eyes fixed on the system clock. As the numbers turned to 00, a voice echoed in his mind. Ding. Congratulations on surviving another day. Detecting a passenger with a comprehensive potential score of 90 or above on board. Today's survival. Ding. Congratulations on completing today's survival mission. Please choose one of the following 3 rewards. 1. Premium rice, 20 kilograms, x1. Description: a must-have for survival. You need strength to work. As the sole SS strength survival path, you can't afford to go hungry. 2. Common fire axe x1. Description: how can you survive without a weapon? I can cleave through anything for you. 3. Curio pen. Description: white quality. An abandoned ballpoint pen, you'll never have to worry about running out of ink. 𝂃's body trembled. It was here, finally here. Today's survival mission reward. The first option was a jackpot. 20 kilograms of premium rice, a full 40 gene. Even for 2 people it could last. Converted to survival points, it was worth 2 points, an absolute must-choose. The second option was decent, a fire axe, but paled in comparison to the first, since one could be bought in the survival shop for a single survival point. As for the third, it was a curio, a true curio. His only other curio, the monster telescope, possessed an incredibly powerful effect, aptly nicknamed the monster X-ray scope. But 𝂃 stared at the description. Is the curio effect just unlimited ink? The effect seemed rather underwhelming, and for now utterly useless. Between the first and second options, 𝂃 unhesitatingly chose the former. The reason needed no explanation. Ding. You have received premium rice, 20 kilograms x1. 𝂃 was ecstatic. He would never have to worry about going hungry again. But it wasn't over yet. He now had a total of 3 survival points, more than enough to upgrade the engine. The 20 kilograms of premium rice were automatically placed into the storage space, which was steadily shrinking in capacity, filled to the brim with a vast assortment of materials. 𝂃's mind stirred. Since survival points can upgrade vehicles, can they also upgrade storage space? He focused his thoughts on the storage panel in the interface, and an additional line of description appeared: storage space, 1 cubic meter. Note: survival points can be used to expand this space at a rate of 1 cubic meter per point. It could indeed be upgraded, and at a reasonable cost, merely 1 survival point per cubic meter. Once he had more points in the future, he could consider expanding it. For now, however, his points were earmarked for more crucial uses. He opened the vehicle information panel and navigated to the engine. Selecting the upgrade option, a prompt appeared. Are you sure you want to consume 3 survival points to upgrade the dilapidated engine? 𝂃 silently confirmed. Upgrade successful. The LV0 dilapidated engine has been upgraded to a LV1 powerful engine. Note: the vehicle's maximum speed increases to 90 km/h and acceleration is significantly enhanced. 𝂃 let out a laugh. The substantial increase in top speed meant he could seize far more search time than others, no longer wasting hours on the road. This was a monumental advantage. With this, he had now upgraded 5 components of the vehicle. His heart racing with excitement, he tapped on the vehicle model upgrade option. Your vehicle has met the minimum upgrade requirements. You may now upgrade to an LV2 model. Please choose from the following 4 options. 1. Speed off-road vehicle. Note: maximum speed and acceleration increased by 30. Go wherever you want while others can only eat your dust. 2. Attack off-road vehicle. Note: vehicle weaponry and impact force increased by 30. With enough firepower, you can blast your way through the survival. 3. Defense off-road vehicle. Note: sturdy construction with 30 increased durability. Can you charge through a zombie horde 7 times and still make 4? RV off-road vehicle. Note interior space doubled, but top speed reduced by 20 km/h. Emphasizes massive capacity complete with a bathroom, kitchen, and bedroom. 𝂃 studied the 4 vehicle models provided by the system. Each was exceptionally appealing. The speed off-road vehicle would grant even more collection time through its enhanced top speed, allowing him to outpace other vehicles and be first to snatch any valuable finds, leaving him fully satiated. The attack off-road vehicle needed no introduction. Its onboard weaponry, though not yet available, would likely become crucial for survival. Equipped with a mounted machine gun, he could mow down zombies without even needing to dodge. The defense off-road vehicle would significantly bolster the vehicle's resilience, also a worthy choice. The RV off-road vehicle, however, intrigued 𝂃 the most. He hadn't bathed in 2 days, and the sweltering heat left him drenched in sticky sweat, feeling thoroughly uncomfortable. With a built-in kitchen and bedroom, the slogan, "My car is my home," resonated deeply. Though the first 3 are excellent, my survival path demands a steady increase in passengers to boost daily survival point output. With more people in the future, the current rear seating space will be far from adequate. I can't have them sleeping in the car, can I? 𝂃 pointed to the last option. I choose the RV off-road vehicle. LV1 dilapidated van, LV2 RV off-road vehicle. Upgrade cost: metal X20, rubber X20, glass X20, plastic X20, or replace with 2 survival points. 𝂃 checked his existing resources: sufficient metal, rubber, and glass, but short by 11 units of plastic. Since these were basic materials, easily tradable, he entered the trading market, exchanged glass for plastic to get 10 units, and traded metal for the remaining 1. With all materials collected, he initiated the upgrade. Upgrade will take 1 minute. Please have everyone leave the vehicle to avoid injury during the modification process. 𝂃 pinched the nose of 𝂃, who was sleeping soundly. Get up quickly. We need to leave the van first. What for? 𝂃 rubbed her sleepy eyes, having just fallen asleep before being woken. Don't ask too many questions. Just get out. It'll be done soon. 𝂃 took 𝂃's arm and led her out of the vehicle. Once both were clear, he immediately started the upgrade. Wait, am I dreaming? 𝂃 stared in disbelief as the van before her suddenly transformed. The original frame vanished, and like building blocks, an RV frame materialized. The entire body expanded in width and length, especially in length, from 4.5 meters to 7 meters. Beyond that, the chassis height rose to match that of an off-road vehicle, making it easier to power through rough terrain in the future. Previously, many had lost their lives when zombies got stuck under the chassis, allowing others to swarm and breach the van. Now safety had directly increased by an entire tier. This wasn't merely an upgrade. It was practically a whole new vehicle. After a minute, the upgrade concluded. 𝂃 walked around the former dilapidated van, now an RV off-road vehicle, and was thoroughly satisfied. This transformation was nothing short of a rebirth. Even though some components remained unupgraded, they had adjusted to the new body. For instance, the windows still bore scratches and aging marks, but were now clearly sized for an RV. 𝂃 opened the RV door. The pungent smell of gasoline inside had vanished as if purified. The seats remained the same old 3-row arrangement, but behind them lay an entirely new space: a central aisle, a kitchen on the left, and a bathroom on the right. At the farthest end was a fully enclosed bedroom containing a bed complete with a straw mat. 𝂃 opened the vehicle information, which had been updated to include the newly added components: bathroom, kitchen, bedroom, the water tank on the roof, and even the bed. All could be upgraded. 𝂃 followed 𝂃 into the RV, brimming with excitement. The sturdy body exuded an overwhelming sense of security. 𝂃 noticed the kitchen had a faucet, a sink, and even a reserved spot for electrical appliances. He turned on the faucet, and as expected, not a single drop came out. What about the bathroom? He then opened the bathroom door and stepped inside. It was equipped with a toilet and a shower head with separate hot and cold water controls. He turned the shower head. Without water, bathing was out of the question. This was a problem that required a solution. He would need to replenish the water supply himself. After his inspection, 𝂃 was mostly satisfied. Without water, bathing was out of the question. This was a problem that required a solution. He would need to replenish the water supply himself. After his inspection, 𝂃 entered the bedroom, humming a tune, and laid down on the bed. 𝂃 stood frozen in place, having expected him to assign her the bedroom while he slept. Ding! Congratulations to all players for surviving until the 3rd day in the survival game world. After 2 days of survival, I'm sure you are familiar with the rules and laws of this world. Here comes the good news. Starting today, the weather in the survival world will become unpredictable. The number of zombies will increase and resources will see a slight increase. Use all your new weather changes, increased number of outdoor zombies, and more resources. At 6 a.m., everyone was awakened by the system's voice, including 𝂃 and 𝂃. 𝂃 squinted. This survival game truly leaves no path for players. Just when everyone had relaxed for 2 days, and was getting accustomed to it immediately made corresponding changes. The weather was a bit hot for the past 2 days, but it was bearable with temperatures just above 30 degrees. Turning on the air conditioning was manageable, but now the weather is starting to change, and no one knows what it will be like tomorrow. When opening the regional chat channel, a group of people were cursing the system. 𝓃, the system is nothing but a beast. It gives us no way to survive. It's trying to push us to our death. Wangrinja, calm down, my friend. Even if we curse the system's ancestors, it won't help. We need to think carefully about how to deal with the next few days. 𝓃, you probably don't know what unpredictable weather means. Let me put it this way, it was sunny this morning, it could hail at noon, and we might get acid rain at night. Based on my years of experience as a bookworm, at least half of us might die, if not more. 𝓃, extreme cold, high temperatures, fog. I really don't know with our current upgrade speed how long we can survive. 𝓃, it can't be that extreme, can it? If the survival world is like this, it would be easier to just kill us directly. 𝓃, everyone don't panic. As long as we unite, there's no obstacle we can't overcome. Moreover, welcome everyone to join the Mutual Assistance Association. Yang Wu, like yesterday, closed the regional channel and observed the surroundings of the van. However, this glance almost made him doubt whether he was still dreaming. He slapped himself. The fiery pain on his face told him he wasn't dreaming. Through the old glass window, he saw a brand new RV parked outside. An RV appeared here, starkly contrasting with the surrounding old vans. He hurriedly opened the car door, got out, and took a photo with the system's built-in camera, then opened the regional channel. Yang Wu, damn. Everyone, look what I found. A brand new RV. It's an off-road RV. What? There's actually an RV. I'm going to check it out. Is this for real? Someone upgraded to an RV. A group of people quickly got up, opened the doors, and got out, immediately spotting the off-road RV among the minivan. There was no need to search deliberately, as the off-road RV was too large and too tall. It stood out like a crane among chickens. Damn, it really is an RV. I wonder who the big shot is. Who else could it be but Su Changqing? No one else has the strength to do this. Zhang Dehui got out of his vehicle, staring in shock at Su Changqing's RV in the distance. His vehicle had only upgraded tires and a toolbox, and he still needed to upgrade 3 more components before he could change models. He calculated that with the current progress, he had 5 days left. Upgrading 3 components would be very difficult. Either he needed more basic materials or various rare materials that were hard to find. Yet Su Changqing managed to upgrade his vehicle on the 3rd day of survival. Why is the gap between people so large? Zhang Dehui pondered. Su Changqing, in his experience, was a self-centered person with strong opinions. If he were to make him a frontline soldier, one misstep might lead to trouble. However, a person like him is powerful. If we could cooperate, even a little information from him would allow me to surpass others. Zhang Dehui smiled, not rushing to make contact as there were too many onlookers. Su Changqing saw a crowd of people surrounding him, pointing and discussing. Frowning, he opened the door and got out. Big shot, do you need any little brothers? I can do anything. Everyone disperse, stop bothering me. Su Changqing extended his right hand, and an M20 pistol appeared in his grasp. Seeing the pistol, the crowd immediately retreated. Wangrinja, the big shot, is indeed impressive. He actually upgraded to an RV. Just asking, is there anyone else? 𝓃, do you think the truth is a joke? As they spoke, half an hour later, the convoy began to move forward slowly. Su Changqing remained in the middle of the convoy. Although upgrading to an RV reduced the speed by 20 km/h, they were still traveling at 70 km/h, which was not much different from yesterday. As the convoy moved forward, everyone thought they would encounter a collection point after 1 or 2 hours. However, by 9 a.m., they still had not found one, as if this area was devoid of collection points. The expressions of everyone in the convoy were not good. Now that they had sufficient gasoline, they no longer had to worry about the zombie tide from behind, but another problem remained severe. Food and water were scarce. Moreover, the weather changes mentioned in the morning had arrived. Up to now, the sun had not appeared, and it was still overcast. Su Changqing, sitting in the driver's seat, took out a roast chicken from his storage space. Su Shue's eyes lit up. A food, it smelled like roast chicken. Get the water from the purifier. Su Changqing tossed 2 500 milliliters empty bottles to Su Shue. Su Shue quickly caught them and walked toward the water purifier placed between the back seat and the kitchen. She poured 1,000 milliliters of purified water into the 2 empty bottles and hurried back to the passenger seat. The water is ready. Su Shue handed the 2 bottles to Su Changqing. You keep one. Su Changqing accepted 1 bottle, tore off the last chicken wing, and smiled at Su Shue, who looked eager. Don't worry, I won't let you go hungry. Speaking of which, he forcefully tore off the chicken neck and handed it to Su Shue, who wore a pitiful expression. Here's your chicken head and neck. How's that? Great. You're too good to me. Thank you. Su Shue replied earnestly, taking the chicken head and neck from Su Changqing's hand. She now understood that Su Changqing wouldn't let her have it just because she was a girl. If she refused, he might just take it back. Not bad, you're getting more sensible, Su Changqing said with satisfaction, then bit into the chicken wing, savoring the flavor. Su Shue chewed on the chicken neck. Although it was not as good as the chicken wing, it was far better than yesterday's chicken butt. At 10 a.m., a thin fog rose around, slightly obstructing visibility. However, the good news was that the outline of a house appeared in the distance by the roadside. Tang to everyone look quickly. Ahead is a collection point. Su Changqing drove his ARF-styled off-road vehicle, blending in with the convoy. Though a light fog had set in, it didn't hinder them much. However, as he caught sight of the towering structures ahead, he noticed his visibility was diminishing. He immediately grew wary. The change was subtle, but if visibility continued to drop, they would be at a severe disadvantage. I hope I'm just being paranoid, he muttered. Su Changqing rubbed his brow. It would be disastrous if visibility dwindled to mere tens of meters, or even less. That would make scavenging supplies perilous, possibly even leaving them surrounded by zombies without warning. At the sight of the town, everyone grew excited, flooring the gas pedal. The battered van sped toward the town without slowing down. Su Changqing followed their lead. Minutes later, all the vans came to a halt on the road, engines cut. Zhang Dehui stepped forward, raising his right hand. Everyone's supplies are within reach. Members of the Mutual Aid Society, follow me. Dozens of people quickly gathered around him, forming a group to scavenge together. Su Changqing shook his head. More people don't necessarily mean more safety. Many of them didn't even carry melee weapons, their hands empty. If they encountered zombies, their only option would be to flee. And if anyone screamed, it would only attract more zombies, turning the group into a disaster waiting to happen. Boss, do you need any underlings? We can do anything for you. Wang Renjia approached with a few others, a sycophantic smile plastered on his face. Su Changqing glanced at them and activated a skill to assess their potential. Wang Renjia comprehensive potential score 77. Zhao Wei score 69. Zhang Shan score 49. He shook his head in refusal. I'm not taking anyone on for now. All low scores, their future achievements would be limited. Did he want to babysit them? Still, he thought of Su Shui. Her comprehensive potential score was an impressive 92, yet she was still no different from ordinary players. That wouldn't do. He couldn't let her freeload forever. Pressure brings out the best in people. If I don't push her, how will I know the limits of her potential? Maybe it only awakens in life or death situations. Let's see how. Su Changqing looked at Su Shui, a smirk curling at the corner of his mouth. What are you planning? Su Shui shuddered under his gaze, crossing her arms defensively. She knew he was plotting something unpleasant. Come on, we're scavenging. Same as before. You lead, I'll cover you. Su Changqing got out of the vehicle and organized the items in his storage space. He took everything out and placed it in the RV, keeping only his weapons, a military machete, an M20 pistol, and the peculiar item monster telescope. Su Shui's heart pounded. Recalling her last encounter with zombies, her grip on the steel pipe turned rigid. Relax, don't be scared. Zombies are brainless. Just like last time, wait for the right moment and smash their heads with the pipe. Su Changqing patted Su Shui. The pat only made her tense up further. Stop dawdling. We're heading to that building up ahead. Su Changqing pointed to a 6-story apartment complex, each floor holding about 20 units. It would take a while to search. Su Shui bit her lower lip, tightened her grip on the pipe, and began walking toward the apartment. She didn't refuse because she knew that once Su Changqing decided on something, she couldn't change his mind. She moved cautiously, careful not to alert any nearby zombies. The air was thick with the stench of decay mingled with the putrid smell of rotting corpses. Su Changqing followed 3 meters behind, her machete in hand, occasionally raising the monster telescope to scan their surroundings. Strange, where did all the monsters go? He lowered the telescope. The buildings they had passed showed no signs of zombies. As they reached the iron gate of the apartment, Su Changqing spotted a live zombie lying on the ground, right in Su Shui's path. Let me see what you're capable of. He didn't warn her, wanting to see if she could handle the situation on her own. Su Shui slowly pushed open the heavy iron gate. The sound was faint, but the zombie only 5 meters away heard it. It scrambled to its feet and turned zombie. Su Shui's entire body went rigid. Her hands, gripping the pipe, went numb as she instinctively stepped back. Su Changqing's voice came from behind. Kill it. Either it dies or you do. Trembling violently, Su Shui realized Su Changqing was resolute in not intervening. Gritting her teeth, she charged at the zombie, pipe raised. I don't want to die. I can't die. They'll kill you. In that moment, only one thought consumed her: smash the zombie's head with the pipe and survive. The scent of living flesh and the sound of footsteps drove the zombie into a frenzy, and it lurched toward her. Sweat slicked Su Shui's palms as she gripped the pipe. Face to face with the grotesque, hollow-eyed creature, she felt a wave of terror, so intense she nearly wet herself. Die. The pipe came down hard, striking the zombie's head squarely. It burst like a melon, spraying a torrent of black viscous fluid. Dead. Su Shui's hands trembled. This time she hadn't closed her eyes. She had witnessed every moment of the zombie's skull being crushed by her own hand. You did well. Su Changqing walked up beside her, offering encouragement. Su Shui let out a slow breath, gradually calming down. After facing it head-on, she realized that zombies weren't so terrifying after all, just mindless creatures that charged without any sense of self-preservation. Nothing dropped from the zombie's body, meaning Su Shui's luck was mediocre. Let's keep going. You're in luck today. There are plenty of zombies for you to practice on. Through the monster telescope, Su Changqing spotted several zombies in the first floor corridor. There are more. Su Shui felt a surge of anticipation. The best way to conquer fear was to face it. Though her arms still trembled, she was eager to try again. Su Changqing stepped forward and lightly knocked on the iron gate twice. The best way to avoid a zombie ambush is to make noise on your terms. But be careful. Too loud and you'll attract more from farther away, putting yourself in danger. The sound of the iron gate drew the attention of the zombies in the corridor. They shuffled mechanically toward the entrance. Without a word, Su Shui gripped the pipe tightly. As the first zombie lunged at her, she brought the pipe down on its head. The scent of living flesh so close had driven the creature into a frenzy. With a sickening thud, the pipe connected. Black fluid sprayed from the zombie's shattered skull. One hit, one kill. But before Su Shui could savor her victory, a second zombie was already upon her. She raised the pipe again and brought it down, striking the second zombie's head with the same precision. Triple kill. Growing more exhilarated, she didn't wait for the third zombie to reach her. She charged forward her pipe, finding its mark once more. Killing is so satisfying. Su Shui's adrenaline surged. After a streak of 4 kills, her hands still trembled, but this time not from nervousness. It was excitement. She craved more. She wanted to kill more. The sensation of ending lives stimulated her neural pathways. Su Changqing furrowed his brow slightly. Su Shui seemed off. He walked over and placed a hand on her shoulder. Su Shui's mind was consumed by a frenzy of killing. The touch on her shoulder made her bristle instantly as she swung the steel pipe in her hand, spinning around. Impressive, killing a few zombies and you think you're something, Su Changqing said, blocking with his arm. He was curious to test the system's rule that crew members couldn't harm the vehicle commander without permission. A sharp cry rang out, but it wasn't Su Changqing. It was Su Shui. The steel pipe landed solidly on Su Changqing's raised arm, but he was astonished to feel nothing. It was as soft as cotton, causing him no harm. Su Shui, on the other hand, dropped the pipe, clutching her left arm, and wailing, tears nearly streaming down her face. Damage reflection, or damage Su Changqing stroked his chin, speculating with interest. Either way, it proved that a crew member couldn't harm the vehicle commander without authorization. So are you clear-headed now? Su Changqing asked Su Shui with a smile. Su Shui's lips turned down, her eyes rimmed red, looking on the verge of tears. I thought you were a zombie. Why did you sneak up on me? And why does it hurt me when you're the one hit? Su Shui rubbed her swollen arm, relieved there was no bruising. Go check the survival world rules, Su Changqing said as he entered the apartment. Su Shui's scream attracted 6 zombies charging from the depths of the corridor or bursting out of rooms. Su Changqing's military machete rose and fell. The zombies' heads were their weak points, and he dispatched them all with a single stroke each. With superior agility and strength, he now achieved complete domination. So powerful. So cool. Su Shui watched her blood boiling with excitement as she longed to be as formidable as Su Changqing. He flicked the black blood off his blade. These few zombies weren't even enough for a warm-up. Let's go while scavenge for supplies. Su Changqing used his monster binoculars to scan the area before allowing Su Shui to enter. Inside the apartment, dust lay thick everywhere, cobwebs hung in abundance, all furniture was rusted and decayed with wooden pieces crumbling like rotten. Are the villages and towns in the survival world from other realms, or were they always here? Su Changqing was puzzled. The architecture resembled that of Blue Star, yet bore no writing. Truly strange. Su Changqing pushed open a door, sending dust cascading down. Inside, he found 2 basic materials. Lucky break, he muttered, picking them up and storing them in his inventory. The other rooms yielded nothing. On to the next unit. Su Changqing and Su Shui searched all the rooms on the first floor before heading up. Unlucky one, go ahead, I'll cover you, he joked. Su Shui's face darkened at the nickname, Unlucky One. On this floor, Su Changqing had found 80% of the loot, and she only 20. Why was there such a... Su Shui climbed to the second floor via the emergency stairs. Without needing Su Changqing's cue, she carefully tapped on a nearby door, creating noise, but not enough to alert the entire building. Roar. The sound roused the zombies from their dormant state, drawing them toward the source. Come on. Su Shui spotted a few shambling zombies and charged steel pipe in hand to engage them. This time, Su Changqing didn't intervene. He quietly observed Su Shui's performance. Her technique in killing zombies had grown markedly more skilled, a world of difference from yesterday. No wonder her potential comprehensive score was so high. There's a reason for everything. Su Changqing was most relieved that Su Shui was finally growing. In danger, 2 working together would surely be stronger than 1 alone. He had planned to replace her if she remained useless after 7 days, but with her current performance, that was no longer necessary. A few minutes later, Su Shui crouched against the wall, panting heavily as she rested. Each swing of her pipe was a full-effort exertion. She didn't possess Su Changqing's high attributes. Well done. Congratulations, you're officially my crew member. Su Changqing extended his right hand with a smile. What were you planning to kick me out before? Su Shui asked in surprise. Of course. I don't keep useless people here. Su Changqing met her eyes. Su Shui paused for a moment, then extended her hand. Thank you for recognizing me. They'll keep working hard. Though she could now easily kill zombies, Su Shui had no intention of leaving. Without comparison, there was no perspective. The others still drove broken vans. For her, clinging to Su Changqing's powerful leg offered the best chance of survival. Su Changqing collected 2 dropped basic materials and stored them. Trouble, boss. A thick fog is rolling in. As Su Changqing was about to lead Su Shui to search the second floor, the system alerted him. You have a new private message. Opening it, he found it was from Wang Renjia, the man had rejected as a follower. A thick fog. Su Changqing hadn't paid attention to the outside in nearly an hour. At Wang Renjia's warning, he rushed to the window. Through the time-worn glass, he understood what Wang Renjia meant. In the distance beyond the town's buildings, the fog was like blinding white snow, dyeing the entire world a murky gray-white. Indeed, a fog had risen outside, but it didn't envelop the town. That's why Su Changqing and Su Shui hadn't noticed the change. Opening the regional channel, many were engaged in heated discussion. Zhang Dehui, everyone notify those you know. Let's all enter the fog and drive the vans in. Wang Renjia. I've already messaged boss Su Changqing. He should be here soon. Su Changqing, just saw the message. I'm heading down now. Let's go, we need to drive the vehicle into town first, he said, pulling Su Shui downstairs. Oh, we're not searching the apartment. Su Shui was still unaware of what was happening. There's something more urgent now, Su Changqing explained, relaying Wang Renjia's news. It really is a dense fog. Su Shui ran to the window, staring in shock at the white world outside the town. Su Changqing led her to the town entrance a few minutes later, where a crowd had already gathered. Why isn't anyone going in? Su Changqing asked, puzzled. Zhang Dehui pointed grimly at the white mist. There are monsters in the fog. A few people went in, and after a few screams, there was no sound. Su Changqing raised the monster telescope, but saw no trace of the monster Zhang Dehui had described. It was possible the creature was beyond 220 meters. Are you still planning to drive the van into the mist? Su Changqing asked Zhang Dehui. Of course. If the van gets wrecked, we're done for. Zhang Dehui replied. Wait, brother Su, what do you mean? Could it be you don't intend to drive the van in? Su Changqing smiled faintly. Since the system hasn't issued a vehicle attack warning, it means our van hasn't been assaulted. He gazed at the dense mist outside. Fear stems from the unknown. No one knows what monsters lurk in the mist. We might as well stay in town and gather supplies, while keeping track of the zombie horde behind us. Even if we don't travel all day, we won't need to worry about being caught up. Su Changqing's reminder made Zhang Dehui suddenly realize, exactly. The van wasn't attacked, so why should we drive it in? Su Changqing nodded slightly. In the regional channel, there were still 65 people alive. During the supply search, it was impossible for everyone to be perfectly safe. Inevitably, some would be. Thank you for the advice, brother Su. I owe you one. Zhang Dehui said solemnly, fixing his eyes on Su Changqing. Su Changqing nodded slightly. In the regional channel, there were still 65 people alive. During the supply search, it was impossible for everyone to be perfectly safe. Inevitably, some would become zombie fodder. These survivors were both competitors and trading partners. If too many died, the trading market would become useless, something Su Changqing did not wish to see. All members of the mutual aid group, follow me back to continue searching for supplies. Zhang Dehui waved and shouted. Lu Kai was anxious. President, are we abandoning our van? Zhang Dehui, the van's right there, it won't run away. There are unknown monsters in the mist. Let's stay in town for a night. Maybe the fog will clear tomorrow. Li Xiaowei, brilliant decision, President. The association members followed Zhang Dehui to resume gathering supplies. Wang Renjia thought for a moment, and then returned with a few close friends to search for materials. The others watched as one by one they left, some wavered, and made the same choice as Wang Renjia's group. One man cursed. All of you are a bunch of cowards. I don't believe in this nonsense. I want to see what kind of monster it is. The man rushed into the mist. A voice came through. Damn, this fog is so thick, I can only see a meter ahead. Holy shit, I found the van. What the hell is that? Get off my head. The dozen or so people still hesitating heard the scream and immediately fled back in terror. President Zhang, wait. I want to join you too. One after another they ran with all their might, terrified that the zombies in the mist might burst out. With such thick fog you can't see anything through the telescope. Su Shui saw Su Changqing raising the telescope and almost blurted out, "Are you stupid?" But remembering that he was now the van captain, she swallowed the rest. Su Changqing put the telescope back into his storage space, his expression grave. Unfortunately, the man was already 20 meters away. The monster telescope couldn't reveal the creature that attacked him. However, the man's last words gave Su Changqing a clue. Come on, let's go back and continue searching. Su Changqing walked toward the apartment building to resume gathering. Su Shui suddenly heard the sound of bones being gnawed in the mist. Terrified, her hair stood on end, and she sprinted after Su Changqing. Wait for catching up. Su Shui tightly grabbed Su Changqing's left arm regardless of whether he would object, and kept looking back afraid that the monster might burst out of the mist. Su Changqing turned his head in surprise and joked, "Su Shui, the school beauty, aren't you afraid I might eat you like this?" Su Shui blushed. She was well aware of her own assets. Her figure was unrivaled in the school, which made her the dream goddess of countless men, and Su Changqing was in the prime of his youthful vigor. "If you have the guts, go ahead and eat me. I'm afraid you don't dare." Su Shui held her head high, forcing herself to say it. Although she had only spent 3 short days with Su Changqing, she was already deeply drawn to him. These few days had also made her deeply realize that returning to the original world had become a luxury. Since that was the case, she might as well go all out, at least before death. She would not have lived in vain. Although Su Changqing had been somewhat indifferent toward her, making her scout ahead, letting her eat chicken tails and chicken heads, wasn't that exactly what attracted her? "Do you realize you're playing with fire?" Su Changqing took a deep breath and said in a low voice, "What are you scared?" Su Shui met his eyes and said openly, "Su Shui, I'm telling you, you're done for. It's too late to back out now." Su Changqing was both amused and annoyed by Su Shui glaring at her fiercely. When had he ever been afraid? "They'll be waiting." Su Shui laughed instead. Su Changqing took a deep breath, suppressing his impulse, and resolved that once they returned to the van, he would make Su Shui understand that some words once spoken were like spilled water. "Stop dawdling. Go search for supplies." Su Changqing pulled Su Shui and walked away. "Hey, easy. You're hurting my hand," Su Shui complained. Su Changqing remained unmoved, only releasing her hand when they reached the 2nd floor of the apartment. He instructed her, "While the town can still hold back the mist, make use of this time to search for supplies." "Is the mist going to spread into the town?" "I thought the town had the function of blocking the mist," Su Shui said in surprise. "How would I know? The survival rules don't say. Even if the mist doesn't come in, you still need to search for supplies." Su Changqing shook his head and entered an apartment unit. All zombies on the 2nd floor had been cleared, so it was safe to search. Su Shui followed, also becoming serious. To live one more day was to live one more day. Su Changqing led Su Shui to search room by room. The material drop rate seemed much higher than before. Almost every 2 or 3 households yielded a material. On the 2nd floor, with 20 households, they gathered metal 5, plastic 3, and bread 100 G2. Food actually dropped, an unexpected delight. Su Shui stared at the bread, her eyes fixed, swallowing repeatedly. Su Changqing remained indifferent, so Su Shui could only watch helplessly as the bread was stowed into the storage space. Su Changqing was about to lead Su Shui up to the 3rd floor when he inadvertently glanced out the window and was astonished to see the mist outside actually spreading into the town. "Why did you suddenly stop?" Su Shui was holding Su Changqing's hand, and when he halted, her head bumped into his back. Su Changqing said nothing, pointing out the window. Su Shui followed his gaze and couldn't help widening her eyes. The mist was indeed entering, and it was spreading into the town at an alarming speed. "The mist is coming in. Will the monsters inside it come in too?" Su Shui began to panic. Su Changqing walked to the window, squinting. Su Shui's worry was also his own. Once they entered the mist, their vision would be limited, rendering them blind. Like fighting with closed eyes, a sure path to death. Just then the system alerted. "You have a new private message." Su Changqing summoned the system panel. This time it wasn't Wang Renjia, but Zhang Dehui. "Zhang Dehui, Brother Su, the mist from outside the town is coming in." Su Changqing replied, "I saw it, but thank you for the reminder." "Zhang Dehui, a survival game, and it's pushing us to the brink. What plans do you have, Brother Su?" Su Changqing gazed at the approaching mist outside the window, observed calmly, and adapt accordingly. "Zhang Dehui." Su Changqing watched as the mist surged into the town. The streets, the sky above, all shrouded in fog. "Come on, let's go into a room." Su Changqing expected the mist to enter the apartment building, but it stopped outside. He paused and waited for over 10 seconds. The mist remained still. The mist was like a giant bubble wrapping the entire apartment building tightly, yet not penetrating inside. "Should we still go in?" Su Shui's heart was frantic. Faced with this situation, she didn't know what to do. "Don't rush. The mist came in, but it seems like it didn't." Su Shui's heart was frantic. Faced with this situation, she didn't know what to do. Previously one could see other buildings among the town structures, but now all buildings had become lonely islands on the sea with no other structures visible. In Zhang Dehui, Brother Su, the mist seems to have stopped, but we're cut off from everyone else. I wonder if it will keep seeping into the buildings later. I can't even search for supplies in peace. Su Changqing saw Zhang Dehui's private message, thought for a moment, and shared his guess. If nothing unexpected happens, I estimate the mist will continue to spread into the buildings probably within half an hour to an hour. Zhang Dehui, if that's really the case, what can we do? Zhang Dehui's face darkened as he read Su Changqing's reply. If the mist entered the buildings, it meant the monsters within might enter too. Unknown creatures with no idea if they flew, walked, crawled, or jumped. Zhang Dehui, Brother Su, is there any good way to avoid being ambushed by the monsters? Su Changqing thought and replied, avoidance is impossible, but there are ways to increase the odds of survival. Zhang Dehui urgently asked, please tell me, Brother Su. Su Changqing, within half an hour choose a room with good ceiling, preferably one with intact doors and windows. Close them and block the gaps to prevent the mist from coming in. If the mist doesn't enter, even if monsters appear, you can see them in time and react. Zhang Dehui was thrilled by Su Changqing's reply. Thank you for the guidance, Brother Su. Words cannot express my gratitude. If I, old Zhang, survive this, I will repay you handsomely. Su Changqing smiled unfazed. He closed the system panel and immediately called Su Shui. We have half an hour to clear the third floor of zombies. We must enter a room with intact doors and windows before the mist gets in. Huh? Why? The mist isn't coming in at all, Su Shui said, confused. What if it does? Will you still have a chance to escape? Su Changqing tapped Su Shui on the head in exasperation. Oh, that hurts. Su Shui rubbed the spot on the verge of tears. Hurry up. We need to search the entire third floor in half an hour. Su Changqing quickly walked up the emergency stairs. Killing zombies while searching made time tight. Leave the zombie killing to me. Su Shui grinned, fiercely excited and no longer afraid. Be careful and stay alert. Some zombies might not be attracted by the sound of your knock. Su Changqing warned Su Shui. Got it. Su Shui nodded, took a weapon from her storage space, and gripped a steel pipe, her entire demeanor shifting. Clang. The steel pipe gently tapped on a door, instantly attracting 2 zombies in the corridor and 4 more that rushed out of open rooms into the hallway. Perfect timing. Su Shui strode toward the zombies, gripping the steel pipe with both hands, and brought it down on a zombie's head. Black blood splattered against the walls on both sides of the corridor. Su Changqing narrowed his eyes. Su Shui's current state was very off. Normally, even if she wasn't afraid of zombies, she shouldn't have become this ferocious. What had triggered her? Whether this change in her... Su Changqing narrowed his eyes. Su Shui's current state was very off. Normally, even if she wasn't afraid of zombies, she shouldn't have become this ferocious. What had triggered her? Whether this change in her was good or bad, he couldn't tell. Su Shui sniffed the rotting smell in the air, her face twisted in a snarl, muttering, Die, all of you, just die. Kill you all. Everyone must die. Something indescribable drove Su Shui to want to slaughter everything in sight. She charged at the remaining zombies, unleashing strength beyond ordinary humans, entering a mysterious state. Zombies all deserve to die. Su Shui no longer held the steel pipe with both hands, but switched to her right hand, yet her strength didn't diminish. With each swing of the pipe, a zombie's skull shattered, and they died. With every zombie she killed, Su Shui grew more excited. Thud! The last zombie fell under her pipe. Damn it, so close. I was so close to grasping that fear. Su Shui gritted her teeth in frustration. After killing the last zombie and losing her target, that mysterious sensation instantly vanished from her body. Su Changqing frowned, having witnessed all of Su Shui's transformation. In just 3 minutes, she had killed all 6 zombies that appeared. A speed. Su Changqing frowned, having witnessed all of Su Shui's transformation. In just 3 minutes, she had killed all 6 zombies that appeared, a speed nearly matching his own. This shouldn't have been her power. He walked up to Su Shui and asked worriedly, Are you okay? Do you remember what just happened? Su Shui looked up and laughed. So was I cool just now? Indeed, very cool. You were fierce just now. Su Changqing gave an honest reply. Su Shui said proudly, Of course. Your campus belle is not only beautiful, but also skilled in both arts and combat. Can you tell me what happened just now, eh? Su Changqing nodded, acknowledging Su Shui. Su Shui recalled, Just now I felt like I entered some mysterious state, like I had a cheat. My strength became enormous. I even had the urge to slaughter the entire survival world. But after I killed the last zombie and had no target, I snapped out of it. Damn it, I was just a hair's breadth away. By the way, do you know what that state is? It's amazing. Su Changqing took a deep breath, looking at Su Shui in disbelief. After a moment, he said, Remember the destined path I mentioned to you. Based on what you just said, that mystical state should be a sign of the imminent awakening of your destiny path. Although Su Changqing had never witnessed anyone else's awakening, he knew that only the power of destiny could have led Su Shui into such a state. Su Shui clenched her fists, feeling as if she had missed out on a fortune. Damn it. If only a few more zombies had come for me to kill, maybe I would have fully awakened. Su Changqing speculated that Su Shui's destiny might be related to slaughter, requiring extensive killing to awaken. Once awakened, such a destiny would likely be extremely formidable. Don't worry, there are plenty of zombies. You'll have your chance. Time is running out. Let's search the third floor and find an intact room before the mist spreads into the apartment building. Su Changqing pushed open an apartment door. After a few more minutes of delay, time grew even more pressing. Meanwhile, on the other side, after obtaining the method from Su Changqing, Zhang Dehui immediately alerted everyone in the regional channel. Everyone, as you may have seen, the mist is seeping into streets and alleys. Monsters might be lurking there. For now, stay in your own buildings and don't enter the mist easily. Moreover, be prepared. The mist may continue spreading indoors. We must find an intact room, shut doors and windows, and seal cracks with old clothes. Even if monsters follow the mist inside, as long as we maintain visibility, we can fight back instead of being ambushed. Those who saw Zhang Dehui's message instantly panicked. It's over. I'm all alone in this building. Someone help me. Wang Renjie secretly felt relieved. Good thing we joined the mutual aid group when we came in, or we'd be isolated too. By the way, Boss Zhang, is your group still would like to join? Zhang Dehui replied, welcome. We're all struggling to survive in this world. One more person means one more strength. Hope we cooperate. Within minutes, Zhang Dehui was joined by Wang Renjie and his friends, further strengthening the mutual aid group. Looking at the numerous rooms in the hotel, he called Lu Kai hurried down from upstairs. Chief Room 506 has all doors and windows intact, never damaged. It can best block the mist. Since few people had weapons, they searched for zombies and killed them in groups. Fortunately, no one died. However, due to the considerable number of zombies, the search was slow. Nearly 40 people had not yet finished searching all the rooms in the hotel. Quick, all group members, enter the suite. Zhang Dehui waved at the entrance. Once the last person entered, he immediately closed the door and shouted, get rags to stuff the door and window gaps. No one dawdled. Everyone knew they were in the same boat. They quickly gathered torn clothes from other rooms and stuffed them into the gaps of doors and windows. Lu Kai thought it wasn't secure enough. If a monster broke through the window, they'd all be doomed. He suggested to Zhang Dehui, Chief, how about we also block the doors and windows with beds, cabinets, and old sofas? Zhang Dehui patted Lu Kai on the shoulder. You're really thorough. Come on, everyone pushed the big stuff over to block the doors, windows, and the balcony. Even the toilet window was crammed with rags. With over 30 people working together, it was efficient. In 10 minutes, the suite was completely sealed. Zhang Dehui took a deep breath. We've done all we can. Now it's up to luck. From now on, remember, if the mist really gets into the building, everyone covers their mouth and nose, breathe slowly, and wait until the mist dissipates. Wang Renjie looked at the tightly sealed doors and windows, now unable to see outside. But Chief, how will we know if the mist enters the building? Lu Kai stared at him as if he were an idiot. If the mist gets in, someone will definitely say it in the regional channel. Wang Renjie suddenly understood and silently found a corner, sitting on the floor with his friends to wait. Inside the apartment building. Great, only one room left. Su Changqing led Su Shui into apartment 320. They quickly searched several rooms and finally found a transformer in the bedroom. Su Changqing immediately picked it up. Unexpectedly, it was one of the materials needed to build an inverter. Hurry and close the doors and windows. The mist might arrive soon. Su Changqing walked to the window, pulled it shut, and locked it. Su Shui closed the door and pulled out a pile of old clothes from her storage space. Su Changqing had asked her to collect them along the way. Without needing instructions, she knew what to do. She quickly stuffed the clothes into the door gaps and pushed the coffee table against the door as a barricade. The two worked hard and finally sealed all doors and windows, even blocking the bathroom drain. They had made it just in time. Get some rest and recover your strength. We might have to fight monsters from the mist later. Su Changqing took out a bottle of mineral water and drank a few sips. Su Shui followed suit, taking out her own water. After drinking, she winked at Su Changqing. Su Changqing, don't you have chocolate? Let me have a taste. Eat up. Su Changqing thought for a moment. Su Shui had indeed put in a lot of effort. It was time to reward her. He took out a pack of bread and tossed it to her. What? I thought it was chocolate. Su Shui caught the food joyfully, but found it was bread. She silently thought Su Changqing was stingy. Give it back if you don't want it. Su Changqing stretched out his hand. I never said I didn't want it. Su Shui tore open the package and devoured it ravenously. Just as she finished, someone spoke in the regional channel. He lay bad news. The mist has entered the building. Su Changqing walked to the window. Although it was blocked with clothes, he could still see tiny wisps of mist seeping into the room, since the clothes weren't wet. Su Changqing, I think something is coming up the stairs. Su Shui suddenly dropped to the ground, pressing her ear to the floor. Su Changqing had already heard the faint sound too. He immediately picked up the monster telescope, which revealed all monsters within a 20-meter range. In the room above, a zombie seemed to hear a noise from outside. It was drawn toward the window. Suddenly, its head burst open, black blood splattering across the room. Su Changqing witnessed the entire process. Though the mysterious monster only flashed by briefly, he still caught a clear glimpse of it. It was a bird with a human face, on Earth known as a barn owl. However, what Su Changqing had just seen was infected with zombie virus, its face more like a zombie's. It would be more fitting to call it a corpse-faced owl. The corpse-faced owl was even more horrifying, its beak smeared with an unknown murky liquid. Standing a meter tall and gaunt, its claws could easily crush a human would fare no better. Su Changqing's expression turned grim. The corpse-faced owl was undoubtedly a special type of flying zombie, and dealing with it would be no easy task. Open spaces were its ideal battleground. Zombies also prey on each other. Perhaps I can use that. Su Changqing stroked his chin, contemplating how to hunt the corpse-faced owl. Special zombies were immensely powerful, but they also dropped better loot. With his luck enhancement, his drop rate was even higher. Wait, what's that? Just as 𝑃 was about to lower the monster telescope, a shadow flashed by. The head of a zombie locked in room 419 on the 4th floor vanished. 𝑃 followed the mysterious figure's departure with the monster telescope, and a massive body filled his field of view. Seeing its full form, 𝑃 gaze hardened. It was an enormous lizard, even larger than him when standing. It had just licked off the zombie's head with its tongue. After chewing and swallowing the head, its entire body merged into the mist, as if it had never appeared. The lizard's camouflage blended perfectly with the thick fog. Without the telescope, 𝑃 would have thought it had left. Another special zombie. 𝑃 clutched the monster telescope, feeling fortunate. Without this extraordinary item, he would still be clueless about the mysterious monsters lurking in the mist. Now that he knew what the mysterious monsters in the fog truly were, his fear had greatly subsided. This made 𝑃 realize that intelligence was paramount in the survival world. Next, he had to figure out how to deal with them. But before that, he could share this information with 𝑃 and the others. He couldn't let them all die. Of course, this news wouldn't come. 𝑃 opened the system and privately messaged 𝑃. I have intelligence on 2 types of mysterious monsters in the mist. Wanna buy it? 𝑃 and his mutual aid society members were hiding in a room, tightly covering their mouths, afraid to make a sound. Shortly after the mist entered the hotel, sounds of zombies moving upstairs came, but they quickly fell silent. He guessed a more powerful monster was hunting the ordinary zombies. Seeing 𝑃's message, 𝑃 didn't hesitate. Our society will take it. Name your price. Well, I was planning to sell it for 1 material per person. Your society has nearly 40 members, so it'll charge you 20 basic materials. That's fair, isn't it? 𝑃 wasn't trying to gouge them. These people barely had any materials to begin with. 𝑃 quickly relayed the matter to all society members for a vote. Most agreed, and each vehicle contributed 1 material to 𝑃. Soon 𝑃 received a trade request from 𝑃 and immediately accepted. A total of 20 various basic materials. He was quite satisfied. Having received the payment, 𝑃 promptly shared the intelligence on the corpse-faced owl and the chameleon zombie lizard with 𝑃, who then forwarded it to the society members. In the apartment building, 𝑃 should be awakening soon. It's time she knew some things. 𝑃 walked over to 𝑃, who was curled up in a corner, and handed her the monster telescope. Take it. Have a look. Finally willing to show me your treasure. 𝑃 took it without ceremony and imitated 𝑃's stance. The moment she looked through it, it was like discovering a new world. Whoa, what's that huge thing upstairs? A lizard. Wait, is that a giant bird in the corridor? It's enormous. 𝑃 was utterly astonished. No wonder 𝑃 treasured this telescope so much. It could see through obstacles and reveal monsters. Just then the corpse-faced owl turned around. 𝑃 saw its face and nearly dropped the monster telescope in fright. Don't break it. 𝑃 retrieved the telescope. It was a treasure. See those 2 types of zombies? They're the monsters in the mist, a zombie lizard and a zombie bird. I plan to kill them. Really? I was thinking the same thing. 𝑃 was brimming with excitement. 𝑃 asked, aren't you afraid? I don't know why, but the thought of killing them thrills me. Am I sick? 𝑃 frowned. Perhaps 𝑃 was already being influenced by her path, and might even awaken it at any moment. You're not sick. You're fine. He shook his head. He preferred the fearless 𝑃. I think so too. So when are we going up there to take down those 2 monsters? 𝑃 pulled out a steel pipe, ready for battle. Charge. Why can't we just wait for them to come to us? 𝑃 was exasperated. 𝑃's newfound fearlessness seemed to have made her more reckless. Before 𝑃 could respond, 𝑃 laid out his plan. You'll be the bait here. You hide by the door and strike as an ambusher. It was a simple strategy. 𝑃's eyes lit up, and she immediately hid behind the door. No problem. 𝑃 gripped his military machete and used the monster telescope to see that the corpse-faced owl had flown off somewhere, but the zombie lizard was still upstairs. After moving the furniture blocking the door, 𝑃 gently tapped the door handle with his machete, producing a rhythmic thud, while keeping the zombie lizard in sight through the telescope. Hearing the sound, the zombie lizard immediately crawled down the stairs to the 3rd floor. Careful, the zombie lizard is coming. 𝑃 warned 𝑃 as he pushed the door open. The mist rushed into the room, and the sound of the door spurred the lizard to crawl faster. At the entrance of room 320, 𝑃 faced the zombie lizard. Once the mist entered, his visibility was reduced to just 5 meters, but that was as the zombie lizard opened its mouth. 𝑃 sidestepped behind the living room wall, blocking its view. The lizard's tongue struck the wall, punching a hole through it. Having lost its target, the zombie lizard had to charge after 𝑃. 𝑃, gripping her steel pipe, was ready to strike. As the lizard slithered past the door behind her, she swung the pipe down with all her might. Thud! The steel pipe landed squarely on the lizard's head, but the blow didn't even break its defense. Su Shui grinned ferociously, raised the pipe, and struck again, hitting the exact same spot. Hearing the commotion, Su Changqing emerged from behind the wall. In a few strides, he reached the zombie lizard and swung his military machete with full force. The sharp blade cut through the lizard's defenses, slicing its skin open and spilling a pool of black blood. Caught in a sudden two-pronged attack, the zombie lizard had no chance to fight back. If Su Shui's pipe strikes only dazed it, Su Changqing's machete rendered it a die. Su Changqing switched from slashing to thrusting, driving the blade deep into the lizard's neck. Black blood spurted out, splattering Su Changqing's hand. Not enough yet. Su Changqing gripped the knife handle tightly, turning it slowly. He intended to grind the zombie lizard's head into pulp. Su Shui realized the steel pipe in her hand seemed ineffective against the zombie lizard. She decisively discarded it, grinned, fiercely grabbed Su Changqing's hands, and forcefully pinned the zombie lizard to the ground. "He'll help you." The zombie lizard struggled violently, twisting its body in an attempt to shake off the military machete embedded in its forehead. "I've got it under control, you." Su Changqing sat down heavily on the zombie lizard's back, using all his strength to restrain it. For him, killing the zombie lizard might yield better items, but letting Su Shui slay it could potentially help her awaken her path. Su Changqing chose the latter. A path awakener would significantly boost the convoy's strength. "No problem." Su Shui's face was filled with excitement as she continued what Su Changqing had started, forcefully twisting the military machete. Gurgle. The more the zombie lizard struggled, the faster it died. A pool of black blood oozed from its mouth. Its strongest attack was its tongue, but after having its head stunned by Su Shui, and then being controlled by Su Changqing, it never had the chance to use its greatest ability. Su Shui rotated the military machete, once gravely wounding the zombie lizard. At the final moment, she gripped the machete with both hands and slashed with all her might. The zombie lizard's head split in two. A torrent of black blood gushed out, and a putrid stench rose to the heavens. The moment the zombie died, Su Shui's body froze. "You have slain a special zombie. Survival coins 50. Congratulations. You have awakened the 𝑃 path of annihilation. Unlocked skill Berserk. Unlocked skill Sacred Flame in the darkness. Path of annihilation description: I shall annihilate everything. Only through annihilation can new life be born and my own order be rebuilt. Skill Berserk description: when you activate Berserk, all attributes are enhanced by 50. With each kill, your rationality decreases by 10. After accumulating 10 kills, you will completely lose rationality and enter a frenzied state with all attributes enhanced by 100, becoming a machine that knows only slaughter. Skill Sacred Flame in the darkness description: annihilation is for rebirth, not self-destruction. You can designate one person as the Sacred Flame. Upon entering the frenzied state, the Sacred Flame can awaken you at any time. Note: the path of annihilation allows only one chance to designate a Sacred Flame. If the Sacred Flame dies in the future, you will permanently lose the skill Sacred Flame in the darkness. You have awakened the path of annihilation. Strength 5, a defense 5, Constitution 5, Agility 5, Spirit 5. A surge of powerful energy poured into her body. Su Shui felt the fatigue from the fight vanish instantly, as her bones, flesh, internal organs, and skin were all strengthening. So this is the power of the path. It's incredibly strong. Su Shui clenched her fist and murmured to herself, feeling as though she could punch through a wall. Annihilation. Good. I like annihilation. This wretched world deserves to be annihilated by me. A sharp glint flickered in Su Shui's eyes. The Berserk skill was indeed formidable, but its side effects were also deadly. After 10 kills, she would enter a frenzied state and lose consciousness. Fortunately, the Sacred Flame in the darkness skill was designed to counter these side effects. Su Shui, well done. Su Changqing stood up from the dead zombie lizard, noticing Su Shui lost in thought with a dazed expression. Su Shui looked up and met Su Changqing's smile. At that moment, she made her decision. Although Su Changqing liked to bully her, feeding her the worst chicken heads and tails, Su Shui hadn't forgotten that on the first day, when a few prisoners targeted her, Su Changqing was the only one willing to lend a hand. Perhaps Su Changqing saved her because he coveted her, the school beauty, but he did act. Su Changqing, are you willing to be my Sacred Flame in the darkness? Su Shui reached out to caress Su Changqing's cheek. Ding player, Su Shui invites you to become the Sacred Flame in the darkness. Do you accept? If you're going to ask, keep your dirty hands away. Su Changqing grabbed Su Shui's outstretched hand as the system prompt sounded in his ear. Su Shui's body stiffened as she realized her hand was covered in the zombie lizard's black blood. She gave an embarrassed smile. I forgot. You awakened your path. Su Changqing looked Su Shui over. Yes, after killing the zombie lizard, the system told me I awakened the path of annihilation. Su Shui nodded, gently concealing nothing, and told Su Changqing everything about the path of annihilation. Su Changqing was stunned upon hearing this. The path of annihilation skills were simple and brutal, a berserk and then a frenzy tailor-made for slaughter. The attributes were directly enhanced by percentages. It could be said that Su Shui in her frenzied state could easily overpower and even kill her berserk self. A 50% attribute boost was a world of difference. Looking at his own path of survival, the development period seemed somewhat long. However, as the convoy grew larger and he accumulated more survival points each day, his intuition told him that as the pad's level increased, the path of survival would bring even more surprises. He hadn't expected Su Shui to trust him so much, inviting him to become her sacred flame in the darkness, which was essentially placing her life in his hands. You don't wanna. Su Shui couldn't get a reply from Su Changqing, and for some reason her heart ached faintly. I am willing to become your sacred flame in the darkness. Su Changqing extended his hand. You trust me, so I will accept that trust. Player Su Changqing has become the designated person for your skill's sacred flame in the darkness. Friendly reminder, he is the only one who can awaken you from the frenzied state. Please protect him well. Su Shui heard the system prompt and broke into a smile. From now on we're partners, right? Partner sounds a bit too formal. I think given our life and death experience we can take it a step further. Su Changqing said teasingly. Su Shui crouched down, wiping the black blood from her hands onto her tattered clothes, a smirk curling at the corner of her mouth. As you wish. Anyway, you're my sacred flame in the darkness now. I can't leave you. Su Changqing's lips curled up. Su Shui's words were an open declaration officially establishing their romantic relationship. I really want to devour you right now. Now? Are you sure? Su Shui and Su Changqing locked eyes, neither backing down. Su Changqing glanced around at the mist, the zombie lizard, and the stench of decay filling the room, and instantly dismissed the thought. This couldn't be rushed. He would wait until they were back in the modified off-road vehicle. Su Changqing picked up the supplies that had dropped after the zombie lizard's death. You have obtained transistor X1, capacitor X1. Su Shui's luck was truly abysmal. Killing a special zombie only yielded 2 materials. Not bad. These 2 items are exactly what we need to make an inverter. Your luck is decent, Su Changqing said with a smile. Yeah, right. That's nothing compared to you. I remember you got a strange item from killing the flesh bus. Su Shui closed the door. In the short time it had taken to kill the zombie lizard, the mist had already filled the entire house. Su Shui no longer bothered to stuff the door cracks with rags, for the interior of the house was now no different from the world outside. Su Changqing dragged the corpse of the zombie lizard into the bathroom and shut the door. With the creature removed, the stench of decay in the room lessened, though it could not be completely eliminated. The floor and walls were smeared with the zombie lizard's black blood, which was equally foul. So we just wait here for the mist to clear on its own. Or shall we go out and kill some zombies? Su Shui sat down against the wall, her eyes brimming with anticipation as she looked at Su Changqing. Having just awakened the path of destruction, she craved battle and slaughter. That was my initial plan, Su Changqing said, frowning as he studied Su Shui. She had transformed completely from a demure campus belle into a bloodthirsty. But since you want to kill zombies, then we shall kill zombies. A thought stirred within Su Changqing. He too wished to see Su Shui's current strength. The path of destruction, a name that sounded invincible with formidable skills, should be more than mere reputation. This was an opportunity to witness her abilities in action, perhaps even in a frenzy or a rampage. Great. This time I'll take the lead, and you cover me from behind. Su Shui stood up excitedly, brandishing a steel pipe still stained with black blood. Su Changqing drew a military machete and handed it to Su Shui. Your steel pipe is too inefficient for killing zombies. Try this. So you're willing to part with your precious blade? Su Changqing, you've changed. Su Shui took the machete and swung it vigorously several times, her speed surpassing that of an. Su Changqing smiled. After all, you'll soon be mine, and what's yours is mine. You said it. What's yours is mine. I hope you're not just stringing me along. Su Shui swallowed hard, her mind already wandering to Su Changqing's stash of roast chicken, chocolate, and sweet potatoes. From now on she could eat well. Su Changqing quickly gave his assurance, and the two then discussed their zombie-killing strategy. They would again lure the zombies by banging on the door to create noise. Both having awakened their paths, their strength was more than enough to crush ordinary zombies, and even special ones. There shouldn't be too many zombie lizards in the mist. They needed to be wary of the creature's tongue attacks, and it was best to stay inside the room to avoid being struck. The only uncertainty now is the corpse-faced owl. It can fly and has sharp claws. Su Changqing frowned. Without having faced one, it was hard to gauge its strength based solely on zombies. What's there to fear? If one comes, he'll kill it. If two come, he'll kill them both. Su Shui licked her lips, a cruel expression on her face. If you say so. Su Changqing sighed inwardly. Whenever killing was mentioned, Su Shui's mind went blank. Meanwhile, at the hotel building, the members of the Mutual Aid Society gathered in a suite, listening to the tremendous noises coming from the corridor, the walls, and the ceiling. They huddled together, trembling, terrified that a zombie lizard might burst in at any moment or crash through the window. Crack! As their nerves were stretched taut, an ominous sound came from the window, but it was blocked by a pile of rags obscuring whatever large creature was outside. That didn't stop their speculation. In the regional chat, panic spread among the Mutual Aid Society. Wang Renjie, President, were doomed. That zombie lizard must have stepped on the glass. Think of something quick. Zhang Dehui, everyone stay calm. Don't make a sound. As long as we're quiet, the zombie lizard won't notice us. Lu Kai, but it's been prowling around our suite. It clearly smells living humans. Damn it, we shouldn't have taken Lu Kai into the society. Zhang Dehui cursed, inwardly looking up to see many people trembling, clearly frightened by Lu Kai's words. Zhang Dehui, if the zombie lizard breaks in, those with weapons use them, those without help however you can. There are nearly 40 of us. Surely we can take on Lu Kai, President. It's a zombie lizard, not an ordinary one. Zhang Dehui laughed in exasperation, wondering if Lu Kai was a reincarnated contrarian. Zhang Dehui, no matter what it is, we all fight together. But don't make a sound. Outside this room there's nothing but mist and mysterious monsters. If we leave, we have nowhere to run. The members of the Mutual Aid Society felt a chill. Indeed, they had no retreat, they could only fight to the death. Crack. Suddenly the window shattered, and a zombie lizard crashed into the room, its front claws, head, and body tumbling in. They stared at each other, the zombie lizard and the society members, both momentarily stunned. Then they erupted simultaneously. The society members charged madly at the zombie lizard, which opened its mouth, its tongue shooting out like an arrow, piercing a member's heart. The man stiffened, looked down to see a fist-sized hole in his chest, blood seeping out, and the stench of gore spreading. He opened his mouth, but could say nothing, collapsing with a gurgle. Everyone saw it, but no one retreated. Outside the suite lay a world of mist. They had no way out. Seizing the moment, Lu Kai rushed to the zombie lizard and threw himself onto its back. One after another they piled on like a human pyramid, trying to crush the creature. But the zombie lizard was not so easily killed. It struggled fiercely, unable to twist free, but its mouth was still unbound. It opened its jaws again, its tongue lashing out, striking a man's neck. The neck snapped cleanly, and his head rolled to the floor like a ball, eyes wide open. Quick, hold its mouth shut. Don't let it attack. Zhang Dehui roared in a low voice. Where are the weapons? Strike its weak points. Eyes, belly, neck, rear. Hurry, we can't afford more deaths. Those who had recovered rushed to clamp down on its mouth, while others with weapons charged forward, targeting the areas Zhang Dehui had indicated. The zombie lizard, pinned down, could only endure the onslaught. Black blood oozed from its eyes, belly, neck, and rear, everywhere it was struck. Though the society had many members, over 20 of them had already crowded around the zombie lizard, leaving no space. The rest grabbed rags to stuff the broken window as mist poured in. Finally, after the combined efforts of dozens, the zombie lizard suffered a torrent of attacks. Minutes later, it lay in a pool of black blood, motionless. The zombie lizard's dead. Get off, you're crushing me. Lu Kai's voice came from beneath the pile. Those above, realizing the creature was still, quickly scrambled to. Feeling the weight lift, Lu Kai experienced a sense of surviving a calamity, having nearly been killed by his own people. Wang Renjie stared at the system notification and blurted out, "Holy crap! Killing that zombie lizard gave me 50 survival coins." Zhang Dehui was shocked, then elated. 50 survival coins. One coin could buy 100 liters of gasoline. But the cost had been high. The entire society had to fight together, and 2 people had died. Through this battle, his opinion of Lu Kai changed. That guy may not think before he speaks, but he was the first to charge in. He's got guts in a fight. Zhang Dehui walked toward the dropped items, his heart pounding with anticipation. A special zombie like this should drop some big loot, right? You have obtained metal X5 or rubber X5, bread 100G X5. Is that all? Zhang Dehui's mouth twitched. The zombie lizard that the entire Mutual Aid Society cooperated to kill only dropped basic materials. He had expected at least a design blueprint. Other members of the Mutual Aid Society gathered around, looking at the supplies in Zhang Dehui's hands. Lu Kai said, "President, that zombie lizard is powerful and dropped so many things. How about we find a chance to kill another one?" An ordinary zombie dropped at most 1 basic material, while the zombie lizard's loot was worth about 30 zombies' drops. Zhang Dehui's face darkened. The materials are indeed plentiful, but don't forget we lost 2 members of the Mutual Aid Society to kill that zombie lizard. Besides, we only succeeded because it walked right into our trap. Are you really sure you want to go kill another one? Lu Kai shrank his neck and scratched his head. President, he pretend I didn't say anything. The others also calmed down. The zombie lizard's tongue strike was immensely powerful. 1 hit meant certain death. They wanted supplies, but they didn't want to die. Zhang Dehui walked to the bodies of the 2 deceased members, closing their wide-open eyes. Wang Renjie and Lu Kai placed them in a separate room. We will remember their He took out a pen and a notebook, both found by other members. He opened the notebook and wrote down the deeds of the 2. Meng Gao and Sheng Lixue during the first zombie tide survival on the third day in the fog courageously and fearlessly sacrificed themselves fighting the zombie. Meng Gao and Sheng Lixue during the first zombie tide survival on the third day in the fog courageously and fearlessly sacrificed themselves fighting the zombie. Zhang Dehui said, the 50 survival coins from killing the zombie lizard will be split equally among everyone and the same for the supplies. Any objection? All the Mutual Aid Society members shook their heads. With the loss of 2, we now have 18 vans. Today we gained 50 survival coins. Metal and rubber are worth 1 survival coin and 5 bread loaves are worth 2, totaling 53 survival coins. That means everyone can get 3 survival coins, Zhang Dehui added. As the leader since the team suffered losses, it'll take only 2 survival coins. No one expected Zhang Dehui to voluntarily take fewer supplies. 1 survival coin was worth 100 liters of gasoline. Lu Kai said, President. Don't say anymore. This is decided. Zhang Dehui waved his hand. Wang Renjie had no intention of keeping the survival coins for himself, and even if he did, he wouldn't dare. He proactively walked to each car owner in the Mutual Aid Society and traded 3 survival coins to each. The car owners who received 3 survival coins were ecstatic. A full 300 liters of gasoline. We won't worry about running out of fuel for this survival. Someone said, that's right. Now we consume about 4 liters per hour. Driving at most 10 hours a day equals 40 liters. That's enough for another 7 days. At least we don't have to worry about being caught by the zombie tide behind us. Someone was counting on their fingers. Haha, from now on we can focus on searching and upgrading our vans. It's really not easy. The distribution of spoils ended, and everyone was very satisfied with the result. Compared with the Mutual Aid Society, those who searched for supplies alone were on the regional channel. The remaining 20+ people were all calling for help. Help! The thing outside seems to have spotted me. Another said, we were hiding on the rooftop. A flying monster flew by, and then my companion's head exploded, splattering brains all over my face. The number of people in the region decreased every now and then. The Mutual Aid Society members were extremely grateful to be acting with the president, otherwise their fate would be the same. Ready. He'll lure the zombies. In the apartment building, Su Changqing held a steel pipe and asked Su Shui. Anytime. Su Shui stood by the wall beside the door. Su Changqing raised the steel pipe and slammed it against the door. Thud. A dull sound rang out. Su Changqing knocked again and again. This time the goal was to lure all the zombies in the entire apartment building, even the corpse-faced owl. The sound spread throughout almost the entire building. One after another, the sleeping zombies awoke and moved toward the noise. They're coming. Su Shui could already hear the vibrations of zombies running from the upper floors. Because Su Changqing's knocking was loud, the zombies were like cats smelling fish. Be careful. The number of zombies is wrong. Su Changqing's face changed. Could there be a zombie nest on the upper floors? He had originally thought 7 or 8 zombies per floor was the max, but now the sound indicated at least several dozen. Zombies poured down. Su Shui gripped her military machete, trembling with excitement, her expression gradually turning and saying, I'm so excited. Su Changqing knocked while observing with the monster binoculars. When he saw the zombies charging into view, he immediately stopped knocking, stepped back a few meters, and quickly told Su Shui, the zombies are here. Rampage. Su Shui immediately activated her skill. She swung her blade, striking the zombie that had just entered the room. The military machete sank into its neck, black blood spurted, and the zombie's head rolled to the ground. So satisfying. Su Shui grinned fiercely, pulled out the machete, and aimed at the next zombie's head. The machete pierced its forehead, the zombie's vitality faded, and it collapsed. Even better. After the double kill, Su Shui instinctively charged at the zombies. Without any martial arts training, she was straightforward, kicking down the zombie in front, then rushing to stab its forehead with the machete. 3 kills. Even Su Shui didn't realize she was drawing closer to destruction. Kill. 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 Her mind was foggy as she only remembered one thing. She had to kill all the zombies before her. With the machete in hand, Su Shui was like a war goddess. She charged into the 3rd floor corridors, swinging the blade. No zombie could withstand her strike. Every swing felled one. In room 320, Su Changqing held the monster binoculars. Even though he couldn't see Su Shui, he could see zombies falling one after another. The path of destruction truly is born for destruction, Su Changqing marveled. From the moment Su Shui activated Rampage, he was certain that her attributes in Rampage mode had surpassed his current ones. The good news was that this terrifying path of destruction wielder Su Shui was under his control. Die? All of you die. Black chi seeped from Su Shui's body, her eyes turning bloodshot. Su Shui is in a frenzy. Su Changqing didn't go out. He couldn't see Su Shui, but from the number of zombies dying, he could imagine that Su Shui's current power would make it easy for her to kill him. Most importantly, after entering Rampage, she would lose consciousness, so it was best to wake her after all zombies were dead. The commotion made by Su Shui and the zombies grew louder. The corpse-faced owl stood on the rooftop, staring sharply, listening intently. It flapped its wings and shot downward.